Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. We're here to discuss, are Liverpool the best team in the league in terms of depth? Do they have enough depth to win the Premier League? As all the Liverpool fans absolutely complain, the billion and a half squad looks very thin at the current moment. With Mudryk out, Vega, Mudryk is doping, lavia injured, he's freezing out Madueke. What is Enzo Maresca gonna do? We'll talk about that as well. And also speak about the Arsenal depth without Saka with Dayo. Let me just put Dayo here because he's always looking to his left. So yeah. I'm just gonna.
No. He also put me up closer to Liverpool. Like those of us who are friends.
Wow!
Yeah,
Wow!
I don't want to be down there with Man City. I'm above them right now.
Enjoy it while you can.
Pick up everybody that is here, guys. Let's have a great show. Let's enjoy the show. Talking about, of course, Erling Haaland leaving Manchester City or not. Hit that like button if you're watching us now. Let's get to 100 likes right off the bat. And if you're watching us on the replay, hit the like button. Like for the for likes merchant, aka Footy Judge Mo. Likes Judge Mo. Here we go. The Footy Judge likes, or whatever you want to call me. Hit that like button. It helps the show. It helps the channel. And guys, if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you like the video before you can go and enjoy. First of all, Fozzy is here with us, Liverpool fan from Liverpool. You guys a lot of you guys have seen Fozzy. His channel is in the description. I've done shows with him before on this channel, actually, a couple of times before. He hasn't just appeared for a while. He's a busy man, goes to every game, and he has his work. But he blessed us with his appearance on the show, of course. Absolutely. My brother Fozzy and Dayo with a new haircut, absolutely brilliant, looking fresh, absolutely doing his own Arne Slot, Pep Guardiola, not mimicking his manager, the best hair in the Premier League. Looks like Hamza. Wallahi.
Oh my God, no.
No.
You finished that. I don't have a comeback for that one. I normally I have a comeback. All right, 1-0 to Man City. Let's go.
Let's go, people. Let's go. And of course, the always fresh, always with his fresh, of course, talk is Winter Surfer is here with us as usual, supporting Chelsea. They tried to catch him earlier on Sam's show. He can't, he doesn't fall for it. You try. And of course, the always brilliant Kelkster is here with us, supporting Man City, as you see the flag behind her. Absolutely brilliant panel out here. Where do we start? Me and Andrew had a long conversation behind the scenes about how Chelsea's team is so thin in comparison with the others now. I actually believe so. Wallahi, I believe so. They're so thin, people. They're not as people think the £1 billion, the whatever, £1.5 billion, whatever, is that deep. It is actually not. Fofana's injured. Reece is injured. Lavia's injured. Mudrik is frozen out because of the doping thing. He doesn't trust in Kunku, actually. He's only given him 10 minutes here, 12 minutes here.
Yeah.
He's now Madueke is falling on his wrong side. He has two wingers to start.
Those are choices, though. He's choosing to not play them, but he has them available.
Yeah, I think I don't really count Mudrik as a loss, really, because he's rubbish. Yeah. So I don't really count him.
Maybe a positive.
Let's not do that. I think we left ourselves thin centrally in the midfield area in terms of we knew Lavia probably would have issues still this season. And like you said, Casaday's not up to it. Dewsbury Hall was never going to play. He was just there for the manager.
I like Dewsbury Hall. It's on him. Dewsbury Hall is a good player. I disagree with you.
Yeah, he's a good player, but I think he was
a good player, and he didn't use him right.
No, I think he was only bought as a dressing room spy to spread the word of Maresca to the other team. That's what I always think. But you're right. Vega can be used there, but he's not an actual like proper CDM or something like that. So we let Andre Santos go on loan to Strasbourg, which is probably the right thing. So we left Ugo Chukwu to Southampton. So we left ourselves bare there. That's our issue. It's not really down to a major injury thing. The only one that's really injured all the time is Lavia. So we left ourselves.
And also the choices are not balanced. Enzo Caicedo and Lavia, and everyone can chime in. Enzo Caicedo and Lavia is not a balanced team, especially against top half of the table teams,
Palmer,
which we saw against Fulham. Enzo Caicedo Palmer is not balanced. It's not. It gets exposed defensively.
You can say Chelsea is thin now, maybe because of some of the injuries. Like in defense, you can say they're thin there because of the current injuries. But we
just
can't
midfield. I really only give us. I don't really. In other areas, I think we have enough. It's just the same.
You have a whole second team that is playing the conference, cup. A whole you literally don't play this first team that is playing in the league.
Yeah.
That conference. So I don't understand when people say you're thin. Like I hear you. If you say the first, if you say
I think they're thin with injuries, isn't it? Due to injuries, you're thin.
No, if you say the first, say the first team squad is thin, maybe I can agree with you. But you have a whole second team that in your next conference league is going to play. Why can't those guys come and fill in the spaces?
I agree. Listen, and then I didn't. This is Judge Mo. This isn't Andrew saying for anything like that. This is Judge Mo looking at it. I'm just saying you're right. It's a bit where I don't know. You've heard me say sometimes I think Arteta doesn't trust some of his squad sometimes. When he doesn't pick, I think that's what we're seeing some of Maresca sometimes. Because I'm not screaming out, but I'm shouting out the other day bring on João Felix, right? Just to change something. And I'm not João Felix's biggest fan or anything like that. Just bring him on. But he didn't change it. You know what I mean? I'm thinking he has to trust his squad a bit more. And that means give him minutes. He had a right back, Achimpong on right back. Gusto was getting torched the other day. Try him at right back. You know what I mean? It's just the midfield. You're right. There are other options he could use, but he doesn't use them. And on Tuesday.
So that means you're not thin. Then your manager just doesn't trust the other players.
Yeah, I don't. The only area I don't think we're that thin. It's just that people don't really rate the players. I think it's that's the difference. Not really thin, because that's probably the difference. Nobody really rates Casaday or Dewsbury Hall or that much or something like that. And I think they could be used a bit more, especially during this period. I mean, he's made one sub each in the past 2 matches. That's all he's made.
It's fucking mad,
That's-
actually. Especially at
Pep
1-1.
influence.
At 1-1,
Yeah,
not bringing
that's
anyone at home. That
And, yeah.
is mad.
And that sub is Nkuku for Jackson. But
That was before
previous-
even 1-1.
The
That was
previous press
74th
conference,
minute.
the previous press conference, like I told Mo, he told the press that he doesn't see Nkuku as a number 9, yet he substituted him for his number 9. As far as in both matches. So it's like,
That's a
I
strange
don't
one.
understand. I wonder what.
Yeah, that,
I
yeah,
don't.
weird.
Because we have the youngster Mark Gui, the Spanish striker, on the bench. Run him out. If Jackson's not working, run this guy out. At least you got a focal point up there. You can still bring Nkuku on, but at least you got another focal point up there. But that was first time in a while where I think Maresca just totally flopped in terms of his in-game management, like totally just arranged.
But the thing
it.
is, bro, like in regards to Chelsea, don't you expect things like this to happen with the new manager?
No,
Like,
that's why I'm not going. That's why
I think
going
that people need to
overboard.
calm down. Like, you know,
I'm not.
you
Yes, I
think-
mean, I'm not going overboard. I'm just going. This is what it was, because he's done a few at the start of the season, done for like, but then he's written more. There's more in the plus column that he changes it positively. He notices it during a match or at halftime or something like that. But this was one where it was like Neto, like I told Mo, Neto was doing the bleep test on. People were having a go at him. He was completely shattered. He was doing a right back, right wing back, right midfield, right winger, right forward the whole game. And it was like, if Gusto's not having a good game, we've got the youngster Achimpong, who everyone raves about like as a right back. Let's see what he can do. Or if you want more, put Disasi at right back and release Neto or something like that. Just mix it up. It was the first time where he didn't change anything. Like it wasn't in game where he literally didn't change nothing. Nothing changed from we saw, because if we're giving Iwobi one of his best games I've ever seen him in the Premier League, you've got a problem. Do you know what I mean? Iwobi maybe he's underrated and stuff like that, but we could see that Fulham were inching, getting back into it. You know, people weren't playing.
Why
that
do
well.
people keep saying Chelsea spent $1.5 billion? They can't complain. Well, I'm not complaining. I'm not a Chelsea fan. No one is complaining. I'm just analyzing the situation. I think that they are thin. And I'm going to repeat this. Cassidy is not a Premier League player. He's not. Cassidy is not good enough.
Mo, can I ask a question then? Again,
Yes,
this is why
please.
I'm confused when you say they're thin. I don't think they're thin. I think the manager just doesn't want to use the players he has, because they have a whole 11 that plays the conference. That plays the
But the
conference.
Conference League is different.
Hold on. Here's what I'm saying, Mo. You have a whole 11
You take the
that is not
academy to that.
injured, that plays the Conference League, and then when you have injuries to your first 11 that play in the Premier League, you're saying that you can't, for a couple of weeks, play some of these players. Yao Felix is not a bad player. Why is he not coming into the midfield? Why is he not? Why is he not using him?
Yeah.
So they're not thin. It's just the manager has chosen not to use what he has. Let's be honest. They have. If Chelsea have to play their second team, which is the team playing in the Conference League, for that particular team for 3 Premier League games, at worst they'll draw those games. At worst, they're not going to lose those games. At worst, they'll draw them. So what are we saying?
We don't even have Conference League, because we only had 6 group matches, so we don't even have any Conference League in January.
Exactly.
We don't have a League Cup. We don't have League Cup or anything coming up. We've only got League and FA Cup, especially this time of the season. So we're playing 3 or 4 games basically every other day for the next couple of weeks around the Christmas period. Just one, and not asking to flood both of them. Like move a Cassidy, and if you don't, that's the manager's choice, though, and he has to live with that. And then he has to be criticised about that, because he made the choices not to use his whole bench. He had 5 subs, and used one, not to use his whole bench to influence and change the game. Now, if he'd used his bench and nothing had happened, at least you could go, well, he tried to influence the game and it didn't work. This looked like he didn't even try to influence the game at all. He couldn't, because there was no way you could watch that second half and go, yeah, Chelsea were comfortable from the 60th minute onwards. Like that. You couldn't say that. You could say it was they were going further back. They were letting Fulham have more and more of the ball. And Fulham are a decent to good side this season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was the point of that. And that's where, in most of the games this season, I've seen him be positive in his subs or his tweaking of his tactics to help influence the game in Chelsea's way. So it really isn't, at the moment, it's an aberration where you can call him out and go, your in-game management was not good at all. You failed on that game, and we lost points because of that. And I think it's fair. No one's calling. Like I see online, but that's online, so you got to take a picture. So no one's go, oh, this is why he's a championship manager. This is why he's Maresca out and all that rubbish. You know what I mean? No, he had one game where you question his in-game management totally, and you go, you got that wrong. So I was fine with the starting lineup and stuff like that. It's the in-game management. He didn't change it at all. Looked like he tried to change it because he only did one sub. He didn't tweak the midfield or invert Caicedo as a right back or change the wings, change centre and Neto swap them or anything like that.
Well, let me tell you why, guys, I say they're thin, okay? He started the game with Caicedo, Enzo, and Cole Palmer. That wasn't working. They were beaten on the transition time and time again during this game. And I looked at the bench. There was no option because Lavia is injured. There was no option for him to change it. That is the definition of thin. Imagine if Arteta is having a Declan Rice, Odegaard, and whatever, Moreno. And he has no Jorginho, he has no Partey, he has no one to sub in. Imagine if something, exactly in the beginning of the season when Curtis Jones was injured, Harvey Elliott was injured, Liverpool had only 3 midfielders to play. It's Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai. That's thin. The reality is, if you look at the Chelsea bench the other day, he couldn't plug the hole. There was no option in the midfield. He's not going to play Josbury Hall to plug this hole. Maybe it's a recruitment problem. Maybe I hear what Dio is saying. It's a recruitment problem.
You say he had no one. He had Cassidy on the bench. So Cassidy was on the bench.
Yeah, Habibi, Cassidy is not good enough. He made it worse.
But no, we
Yeah, not for a game like that.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to make it worse.
Okay, but what I'm saying is...
We don't know that, though. We don't know that.
But he didn't try.
But we have watched Cassidy. He's an inter-use.
Look, listen.
I know he's not good enough.
What I'm saying is he didn't try. He didn't try. That's the thing. We don't know. He didn't try. So we can't sit here and go, it definitely wouldn't have worked. Because Maresca didn't try. That's the thing.
I don't do the try thing. He knows if he's not subbing Cassidy in, he knows that he's not going to. Imagine if Arteta had this young guy.
Why have him on the bench? Why have him on the bench then?
Because he has no other option. Who to put on the bench?
No,
Sometimes Man City put people just to warm the seat. There's no one else.
That is true. That is true.
But okay,
you being on the bench doesn't mean you're good enough to play. Sometimes you're just forced to put that guy on the bench.
The point is this, Mo. Fine, you're not going to put Cassidy on, but put João Felix on to try and change it. Change it up that way. Move the attackers around. Move Palmer to the right. Put Felix in the middle on the left and Cuckoo in the middle and leave Jackson up top. Just try and change it. He didn't. Was
that attack the problem or was it the overrunning in midfield that was the problem? You know, if you know what I mean. Like,
well, the problem is the attack. The attack kept giving away the ball. That was the problem. Every time they kept giving it away. So they lost it, and then we were all. Then we couldn't. Yeah, we couldn't compete basically, and then we got overrun.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar. I don't buy. Thank you, Redline Turanga, for the super chat. I don't buy the notion that Chelsea have a thin squad. They have a bit of an injury crisis. Actually, not a lot of players are injured. It's actually not a lot of players are injured, and they have depth but lack strength and depth. Exactly, the quality in depth is not there.
But then that goes back to the the summer.
Then more, you can talk about the quality and not say that they lack depth. They have the depth, but you're talking about quality. Those are two
okay, great. Brings me to the other conversation with you, Dio. In the beginning of the season, every time we speak to anyone from Liverpool people, you and me, they say Chelsea have a better squad than us. That's a load of rubbish.
No. But the reason that is being
a load of rubbish.
No, the reason that was being said by most people, the reason that was being said is because
Chelsea, because he didn't buy a DM, Dio.
No. Hold on. Let me land.
We didn't need a DM, by the way, Mo.
Because Chelsea
I'm not gonna hide from that.
Yeah, Chelsea as a club were able to play a completely different 11 in one tournament and a completely different 11 in the Premier League. So people look at that, and of course, by default, you say, "Oh, they have a lot of players. They have depth. They have numbers." I mean, there's no way you have 22 players plus subs because you're putting subs on your 11 that's playing in the Conference League as well. So at the end of the day, by default, people will say they have depth. Now, if you're talking about the quality, Liverpool had better quality players, maybe not the numbers, but in quality, player for player.
Liverpool. And I do the depth with the quality, the value of the player you're bringing on. There's a difference between when you're bringing on Josbury Hall and bringing on Curtis Jones. That's a value, you know what I mean?
He also chose, and technical reasons, it was disciplinary. He also chose to leave out Vega and Madueke for disciplinary issues. That's his own choice. That's fine. But he limits himself then of his options. He could have fined them He said, but he wants to obviously lay down the law. He's the boss, blah, 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 all that shit. So it was all down to him, essentially. He made the choice. It's all him. He put Casta on the bench and not used him. That's all on him. He didn't use João Felix two previous games. That's all on him. The one sub is all on him, and seeing Gusto cook for all the game and leaving him out there was on him as well. So it really is all, and all this all this blaming Sanchez for the goal and everything. Yeah, it was an awful kick, but if you look at the whole game, his instructions to Sanchez were to boot the ball up every goal kick, which I didn't understand why that happened as well. So it was all on Maresca. This isn't Maresca's got to learn from it, and hopefully he doesn't repeat it.
100%, bro.
That's what it is. And you can't have a meet. You got to be Maresca. I was looking at I found Twitter so amazing.
It's his first season, Winter Surfer. It's his first season, bro. Mistakes
I was
is gonna happen.
I was looking at all the messages. Those people had those messages saved since August.
Yeah.
Since August.
Bro, I've had it.
See it.
Chelsea will finish 6th, 7th, right away. It took one game,
one
game, and then people started commenting. I told you so, Mo. When they play 2 games a week, they're gonna finish 7th or 8th. I told you so. I'm like, what?
It's just recency bias that worries a lot of those type of people. Let's be honest about it. They basically want to judge every single thing that happens immediately as a failure and use that to then overshadow everything that you've done that is successful. And
just take away everything.
Just take away everything the guy has done and be like, yeah, he made okay, fine. He had to discipline 2 players on the team that he could have had on his squad. And he had reasons for disciplining them the way he chose to, and not the fine. Maybe that's an internal thing that he needs to set regular so that other players don't mess up in the future. Just so that if that's the cost of you losing one game, which of course is painful, he now lets these players know, look, I had to discipline you, put you out of the squad. I had nobody to bring in because of your stupidity. So you guys got to get it right. It's not just on the pitch; it's also in the locker room.
And that's probably even worse than a fine, Dyer, if you think about it, right? Missing out on games is probably worse than a fine.
And then losing, right? And then your team loses. So you could, when you could have made a difference. You could have literally made a difference because you back yourself to play well. So I mean, I can't put any hammer on this guy, man. Maresca, what he has done.
It's overreaction, man. It's overreaction.
What he's done so far.
It totally is. It totally is. It's like it's a overreaction. You have to have a reason reaction. Do you know what I mean? It's like one game out of what the 20 or the 17 before 18. It in the league. And he's lost before. Previously, he only lost to Liverpool and Man City.
What you got to realize as well, Winter Surfer, this is not a team that Fulham is not a mug team. I mean, they want to Man City. They
I'm not hitting that. They should win against Fulham.
Nobody wants to listen to me.
Let me finish.
Chelsea should win at Fulham.
Let me finish. They want to wear to some grands, and they did, prove they are a good team. They went to Man City. They should have beat Man City. Let's be honest there. They went to Liverpool. They obviously went down to 10 men. They still got a draw out there. And going to Chelsea, beating them, it's not a travesty. Especially, let me finish. Let me finish. Like it's not a travesty against a team that's in transition at the same time as well with a new manager. You guys got a new manager that's getting the ideas through learning the game as he goes along as well. I don't believe Chelsea are title contenders. I said that for a while with Judgment, and I said that Winter Surfer. I said you guys haven't got the spine of the team yet. In order for you need a strong, solid foundation in order for you to challenge for the title. You need obviously a good goalkeeper. You need a centre back. You need a goal scorer that can score a lot of goals. Not Jackson. I don't think he's that type of player. He might be doing good this season, but if you sort out the spine of the team, then I consider it as title challenges. But where you are right now is a new manager bounce, and the players, they're doing extra because of new ideas. But once things like this happen, is how you come back out of it. That's what
it be. And I tend to agree. I Fulham are better, but they were like, we had if Cucurella scores that diving header first half, we go 2-0.
What I'm saying, they're not a bad team.
I don't think that's the first time they've beaten us since 1979 at home. Yeah. It's the first time they scored against us since 2011 at home in the league. It's like, and I understand that they're a better side.
They're a good team.
They're very underestimated side. I know they got swamped by Wolves 4-2 a couple of weeks ago, but they're a very that's what this league is at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. But
I just think
you're only bringing
one sub in it. You're only bringing one sub.
One sub. You got 5, especially in this period. You got another game Monday. another game Saturday. Then you've got, the FA Cup. I know they're going to heavily rotate. It's got Morecambe at home, but it's like, use them. Do you know what I mean? Like exactly. Say, if you use them, use the options. It's not even a midfield. Use Felix, bring him on. With Nkunku, change it up. Move Palmer to the right if it's not working in the middle in the second half. Just try that. That's what
keep the ball better.
He's been doing previously, and he didn't do it. That's the thing. I found really frustrating.
You know this narrative that we say some players are not good enough. Maybe that's why he doesn't trust them. I don't believe it. I believe players back themselves to be able to take somebody else's position. If somebody's not playing well and you're going to bring in a Joao Felix and he knows that he can do a madness, and he does a madness right there and then, it takes you guys back into the game 2-2 and then scores a win at 3-2. Just like of course, you're going to. It's the same way Gabriel Jesus had his opportunity, and in 2 games back to back, he did a madness. Now Arteta is forced to trust him to play in that number 9 role.
But what I don't understand, Dayo, can I interject? He actually trusted him. He trusted him, and he performed well.
I know, but hear what I'm saying, Mo. What I mean by that is, in as much as anything, right? Players back themselves up to play well. So if you say a player is not good enough, why are you on the bench? If you're not good enough, the manager shouldn't have you on the bench. And if you're on the bench and you're given an opportunity, which the manager did not do, Maresca did not do that. He didn't give an opportunity to these players to come out.
He did. For Joao Felix, he played him in the league and he played well. That's what I didn't understand in the game. Actually, Joao Felix surprised me.
But he didn't
use him in the last 2 games. He didn't use him.
And that is out of a sudden.
Well, that's out of a sudden. So that's on the manager, is what I'm saying, Mo.
That's what I'm saying.
It is on the manager, 100%.
So
we need to understand, as fans and with people that talk about Chelsea and the Chelsea fans, they need answers. How are you suddenly for trusting a player that performed well in front of everyone in 2 games when you needed an attacking player and not even giving the guy a minute? At least give us at least for Madueke, for example, you gave us an explanation. You told the media disciplinary issue. You trusted Joao Felix. He played well before. Just give you an example. Imagine if tomorrow he drops Palmer. No explanation. Out. 2 games. What? Can he give us an explanation? Can at least tell the media why you made 1 sub only? And again, Winter Surfer said this in like 50 shows. He also knows Nkunku isn't a 9, but then he uses him as a 9. You say to the media Nkunku's not a 9, yet you make the sub to put Nkunku as a 9. Can you brief the media the right way then? Can you tell the media why do you use him? Can you tell us why didn't you play Joao Felix? Why?
So this is not
what did Joao Felix do?
So this is not a
They spent money, Dayo, on Joao Felix.
I know that's what this is not a depth issue. Then this is a manager. This is a manager's in-game management issue.
I'm more leaning towards that way.
He has players.
Lack of experience as a manager.
I just think I won't say lack of experience because for 17 games we've seen him actually perform, right? Very good. Perform. So in the 18th game where he makes 1 big in-game management mistake where he could have been overwhelming. It could be like, okay, no, maybe it's finally dawning on him. We're in December and we're in 2nd position. This is not where I thought we would be. Like these things can be factors, right?
It can happen. It can happen.
It can happen. As a new manager, 100%.
But that's not true. But Dayo, he has been making strange things lately.
That's what I'm saying. I said maybe it's now done. See, Mo, let me tell you something. Like, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, right? You go into a competition and you look at the people they are competing against. When I did judo, I'll be like, you know what? I don't think I'll get the 2nd bronze because there's 2 bronze medals in judo. I'll be like, I'll go for 2nd bronze. I'm not ready to let anybody break my neck, snap my hand out, choke me out. Like these guys are better than I am. And then I find myself in the final. And it dawns on me when they call my name when I get on the tatami that I am in the final. I can win gold. Literally at that point, sometimes I've lost that fight because it's like, how did I get here? Like, like how did So I'm not saying that that's what's happening to him, but anything could be. But this is just 1 game.
This is one game.
Can I add what did I say? Me and Surfer speaking about this. Kukuria's inverting is better than Malagusto. You tried it before and it worked. Okay, why in the last 5 games or 4 games you're inverting Malagusto again? Why? It really works for you, bro. You have been great for the beginning of the season. Why? Why are you doing this? Why you are phasing Kukurea out?
Well, it
doesn't make any sense.
We discussed it before, didn't we? That we don't know. I don't know how Gusto's having 70 touches in that game against Fulham, but he's not inverting. He's not playing like a wing. Like he wasn't like really like overlapping that much or getting on the attack or anything like that because you had Pedro Neto doing the bleep test beside him and stuff like that, and everyone dropping deeper. It's a point of I just think everything just went. It just went foobar, basically. On Thursday, it just went mad.
And I'm not saying that Maresca will do this die all the time, but for some reason, the last 3, 4, 5 games, he has been experimenting things that is opposite to what it was working for the first 15 games of the season. He's changing things. He's trying things.
But Mo, here's the other thing again. I don't think that in that game Chelsea played the way Chelsea played. They were not supposed to lose that game. A draw would have been fair.
Yeah, we made Leno make loads of saves. I
think Fulham played out of their skin towards the end of the game, and I think Fulham got something out of nothing in that last goal.
And they made the right substitutions.
And they made the right substitutions. That's it. So I don't think Chelsea played. Look, if you watch that game, because I did, I sat and watched it through and through. I was like, I needed to watch the game because I wanted Chelsea to drop points. Yeah. Right? That's what I wanted as an Arsenal fan. That happened. That happened for me, and I was like, great. But watching the game, I was like, Chelsea is going to run away with this game, or they'll get a draw. At the worst, like they played enough to get a draw. If we're just talking pure football without actually being biased here. So for me, I think that is just so the mistakes that he made by not subbing players is now being blown out of proportion.
Because we lost for the first time in ages. That's what it is. We lost for the first time in ages.
If you had drawn the game, nobody would be blowing it out of proportion.
Leno made four great saves. He made four great saves. Exactly. 1 in the first half and three in the second, right at the end.
Yeah.
Now, our problem was those chances were sporadic. They weren't like one after the other, like a continuous, like 10, 15-minute onslaught. And that's the difference. It was more sporadic. If we actually, part of it as well, we sort of was. I don't know why we set off the load in the second half as well. I didn't get that as well. Maybe that was an instruction, but we have to make sure that we take those chances, or the chances become more regular than sporadic throughout the 90 minutes. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Hopefully it's just like a one-off. We go away to Ipswich, we slap them like Newcastle did, and then we go to Palace and win there.
Can I ask a question, right? Winter Supper. Here's the thing about when people say like take those chances. You took some amazing chances, and Leno made great saves. So the thing is, how much more greater do you want your players to take this?
I know. That's the thing.
When the goalie is matching exactly what you're bringing to the table. So I think it was just being unlucky. That's the truth. Because he made 5. For a goalkeeper to make 5 amazing saves in one game, and it's Bernd Leno. We're not talking about Bernd Leno. We're not talking about the best. He's not. That means
he's not the greatest goalkeeper.
He's pretty underrated.
He's underrated. But I'm saying that means he also played out of his skin. So sometimes
he was their man of match. He was their man.
He just done a lot. People just don't notice it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, Kelk, is that when the other team does amazing, like you play amazing, you put it in top corner, the goalkeeper gets there, saves it. Where else do you want your players to put it? You put it on the ground close to him.
You talk about the Enzo shot, right? That Enzo shot where you just what I'm saying, no, Dyer, I'm not. What I'm saying is we didn't have a consistent
pressure
attacking play. Throughout it was more sporadic.
That's fair enough.
That's what I'm saying. If they all came in like a 5-minute period, then I would be going. But Leno was on smoke. He was on smoke anyway, but he's on superior smoke. Do you know what I mean? It was like nothing was getting past him essentially. But we didn't put enough game. That's what we said. We kept giving the ball away. And Cole Palmer is brilliant, but he needs to learn when to pass instead of flicking the ball more in the central areas and stuff like that. Because sometimes his choices were not that good. He was flicking and backing the ball when he didn't need to, and a simple pass was out wide.
Winter Supper, do you think like sometimes he slows down your play when you're attacking Cole Palmer? Like when you're like going,
sometimes he drops a little bit, like that midfield. Like I think Fulham, he sort of also dropped a bit deeper than playing in a normal number 10 area. We're sort of in more of the centre mid area sort of thing. And sometimes he does, and sometimes he doesn't. But then he does that goal like he did against Fulham when he just whipped in and out, and he just literally he passed it. It wasn't even like a hard shot and just curled it round. So it's one of those things. But he needs to learn. Also, I think he needs to get a better understanding with Neto as well. There seems like every time there should be a pass to Neto, he seems to turn back into field instead of like if it was Madueke out there, strange. Yeah. I think he's easier to pass it to Madueke, but hey, it's one of those things. We should have scored more. We didn't. We let them back in the game. Hopefully, we learn. Like I said, we go to Ipswich, we smash them 4-0 like Newcastle did, and then we move on to a very hard game at Palace. Do you know what I mean? But the overreaction is just
it's too much, man.
Just too much. You know what I mean? It's just
Yep.
Yeah.
Like when I heard some people say Maresca out, I was like, what? I'm like, hold on, pause. Like, what is this? Like, what are we doing here? Like, when did we get to the point where a manager is not expected?
One game
In one game is not like if it's ridiculous. It's
literally only our fourth
Let's take
defeat.
Emram out
Our fourth
already.
defeat all season. It's our fourth defeat all season. It's our first defeat in the league since Liverpool over nearly 2.5 months ago. So it's like,
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's not like you guys are 1 in 13 or 1 in 12. You know, like
something like that. Yeah, 1 in 13. Okay, let me start saying.
He doesn't have that kind of credit in the bank.
It's not like you're gunning to make 1 in 15 eventually, 115. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that is where the goal is.
It's 1 in 15 for the justice of football. There are a lot of reports.
Okay, Batman.
That come out of Felix was only signing that Maresca didn't want and was more pushed by the board. Could be why. Maybe.
But then why?
Because it was
then
the
you
Gallagher situation.
You wouldn't play him at all. You wouldn't play him at all. Then he's not a yes man like people think, because he wanted players out. Do you know what I mean? He's played Felix, like Mo said before the Everton game.
He played him not even in the conference. In the league, he played him. In the league.
But he's got no minutes. He's got no minutes the past 2 games because he's only made 1 sub. So loads of questions need to be asked. It's not like a hounding. It just says, okay. Any thoughts about why he didn't play João Felix?
Good segue. Could Anton Robinson play at a top 6 side?
Oh, definitely. I think he's going to Liverpool. I think
I don't
they'll
know
replace
about that, but,
Robertson with Robertson.
I think it would start for City. I think it would start for Liverpool.
City right now.
I think it would start for Chelsea. I think it would start for Arsenal if Timber's playing right back. I think it would start for Arsenal.
What, over Lewis Skelly?
100%.
Oh, God.
Dio, are you having that? Are you having that, Dio, over Lewis Skelly?
Are you joking right now? Do you know how many left backs we had on the bench and we played Miles Lewis Kelly in our last game? You
don't think?
No, I don't think so. Right now, in current form, right now, no. I mean, why do I want another left back again? I have 4 on the bench. I have
like 10 defenders.
But the thing is, guys, the question is he a left back? Does he play like a left back? He's more attacking than actually like defending.
Who?
So
Robinson. Yeah, he's actually the most balanced left back in the league.
I just see him attacking. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think he's actually very solid defensively. He's very solid. Nouri is more attacking. Nouri is more attacking. Robinson is way more balanced than Nouri, for example. Wallahi,
he wins a lot of duels and makes a lot of tackles. Robinson.
Bro, he's so good.
I'm not
talking about that. Let's look at the Liverpool versus Arsenal depth then. I say that Liverpool have the most depth in the league in the current moment, especially with Saka might be out for the rest of the season. Sterling doesn't count as a football player in the current moment in 2024, almost 2025.
I think they have depth in different areas. Like Liverpool have better forward depth, but Arsenal have way better defensive depth.
Yeah.
Okay, Arsenal definitely have defensive depth. With Calafiori, Timber, Ben White is out for a while, if I'm not mistaken.
He's coming back.
Is he back in February?
I think he's back in January, actually. I think he's back in January. And also, what's his name again? Is also our Japanese.
Tomiyasu?
Tomiyasu.
He's also on his way back. So hopefully.
So you don't think that Liverpool have the best depth Arsenal have?
No, she's saying that we have better depth in defense.
What about that midfield though? With Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott.
Way better midfield depth.
Liverpool have better midfield depth than Arsenal right now.
Jorginho, Moreno, Odegaard, Rice, Partey, and Nwaneri. Is that not better than Curtis Jones? Suppose like Ravenberg.
Defensive midfield though.
No, it depends on how you pair.
There's not a lot of creativity there.
If you pair Nwaneri and Odegaard and you play Declan Rice as a 6, there's a lot of creativity there. You're telling me Nwaneri and Odegaard are not creative enough to go forward? Like it depends on how you switch and play them. You guys want to paint a narrative and pick on Marino. You want to pick on Marino and be like it's defensive because if you play Marino, Declan Rice, and Partey, of course you're playing a more defensive game. But if you play on Odegaard, you play Odegaard in midfield, play Ethan Nwaneri. Odegaard, in fact, I would play Odegaard on the left and Ethan on the right of that midfield and play Declan in the middle.
Partey's been your best.
Partey has been good. Partey has been good, but we have to manage him because of his injury. He's injury prone, and we've seen what has happened over the last few seasons. Yeah. So I'm glad he's not injured right now, and we're giving him rest and bringing him in games that we really need him to come in and step up and play. Because honestly speaking, if he gets injured as well, then we're stuck with Jorginho for the rest of the season, which then gives us a problem. At the end of Jorginho has, whenever he's been called upon, has done his business. I have to give it to him this season.
Yeah.
Every time we've called upon him, he's played well, and we've moved on with the game. So there's just I think it's just the perception of where people think Arsenal should be right now this season, and because we are not the ones at the top, they want to kind of just muddy the entire thing. Arsenal have gone unbeaten in the last 11 games in all competitions. Unbeaten in all competitions in the last 11 games, but people make it sound like we're losing games. We've lost only 2 games this season. Oh no, how many have we lost? 2 or 3 games. 2 games. We've lost 2 games this season so far out of 18. We've lost 2 games out of 18 this season. Liverpool has lost 1. We've doubled what Liverpool has lost. Liverpool has drawn 3. We've drawn 6. I think the draws are where everybody's is really just like trying to beat us down the head. But if you realize this, last season City won the league with 7 draws and 3 losses. So if we do a madness and go like second season like we did last season and go on that crazy 18-game run that we did last season, this coming January, if we can do that madness and keep Liverpool honest and put them on their toes, and they eventually do some stupidity and drop points, I think we can catch up with them. But in depth, in attack, they have better depth in attack and midfield. In defense, I think we have better depth as regards to our defenders. If they lose Van Dijk, that's it.
Yeah, their defense is screwed.
Yeah, if they lose Van Dijk, that's it in their defense. I'm
a bit confused about the midfield though, bro. Like you're saying,
I think your midfield is better. That's what I'm saying. I mean, as regards, I think your midfield is more balanced and okay. So we're looking at McAllister, Szoboszlai. We're looking at Gravenberch, and Curtis Jones, who I think have been midfielder this season. Like, so if you're looking at inform this season, I think you guys have a better midfield depth-wise. Because even if you take out Curtis Jones and you bring in what's his name, Elliot. What's his name again? It's Elliot, right?
Elliot.
That's so let's be realistic. You guys have players that are doing the business right now. From the midfield to attack, you have better depth.
Their front line is, I think, much more balanced. I know they've got some bozos like Darwin Núñez, but like Gakpo is really.
We can't
good.
do nothing about that one. We can't do nothing.
Jota when he's healthy is lethal.
Yeah,
Liverpool are on 22 games. They haven't lost in 22 games. Just Liverpool.
Yeah. So that's it now. So I mean, that tells you a lot. So let's not even.
Do you know why Liverpool have that? Obviously with our midfield and all that stuff. It's because we've got injury-prone players. That's the problem. If these players were fit fully season in, season out, I don't think people will complain about the depth of the squad.
Well,
that's why we need still. I still think we need signings in January if we want to get it over the line. Still, I don't think.
Don't you think it's also
because if you look at our team right now, we're like
if Arsenal, Fuzzy, if Arsenal don't sign anyone in January and you don't sign anyone, what are you saying?
If I'm not basing my
Arsenal don't sign anyone, you don't. Do you consider Arsenal the only contenders, right? Arsenal the only contenders.
Me? Listen, Arsenal, it could be someone else. I don't know. I'm not saying
who is someone else. There's no one else.
Nottingham Forest, let's go.
Fuzzy, there is no one else.
Listen, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen during the season. Last season, we were top of the league in January, and we dropped off eventually because of the injuries that we had. But you guys are like coming out with we've got strength and depth right now. We don't. We're one injury away from a disaster, in my opinion. If Gravenberch gets injured and we haven't got the suitable midfielders to replace him, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, Mo? Tell me.
You're going to play Endo. You're going to play McAllister. You're going to play Szoboszlai. You're going to play Curtis Jones.
Endo and Gravenberch. You can't compare.
Of course I can't. Like Chelsea can't compare.
But Mo, what you're doing right now is disingenuous. Because last season, that's what happened to them last season. They played Endo and the likes of those players, and they dropped off after January.
But who thought that Gravenberch would be that good under Arne Slot? It's McAllister.
Listen, they're playing.
Oh my God! Okay, can I ask you something?
That's what they're doing. That's what people.
Who's more important? Can I ask you something? Who's more important to their team? Gravenberch to you or Saka to Arsenal?
Saka to Arsenal, of course.
Okay, so they lost Saka.
Okay.
So
what you think?
So you should say.
Mohammed,
your statement is we are one injury away from a crisis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Arsenal already have this injury. Already have it now, and you're telling me you're one injury away from crisis.
But listen, they've still got players that could come in and do the job. We don't have that. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, they don't.
They have no one who can do Saka's job.
No, they
don't.
don't.
Don't say that.
They have no one.
Dio. No, they don't.
Don't say that. Mo.
So let me.
Oh my God. Before you answer,
I can't believe.
Let me say
that.
Sorry, Dio. Give me that. Posey,
I can't believe.
do you think the replacement for Saka is better than the replacement for your guy if McAllister plays there with Endo, Szoboszlai, and Curtis Jones in that midfield? Do you think if Arsenal play Martinelli there or Jesus there, is that better than if Gravenberch gets injured then you play the other guys? What do you think? Which one is better?
I can't. Are you talking about like in regards to midfield or at wide? Which position are you talking about? Like
For Saka, the replacement for Saka, is it the same?
In what? In Endo?
Yes, Endo or McAllister, whoever.
No, I think their replacement is better. If you're talking about Endo and Martinelli, it's two different players.
Here's what we're talking about here.
I'm listening. I'm just going to fix the light.
Go on,
here's what I would say. Whoever we replace Saka with cannot give us Saka numbers. Saka right now has created the most chances for us and has scored goals. He's on what, 15 right now? I need to check it up, to be honest. But whoever so here's what I'm saying.
5 goals, 10 assists. Last thing I looked at.
So here's what I'm saying, right? So
go on, man.
Whoever we replace him with cannot give us those numbers, which means that for you, if you lose Gravenberch for a few games and you decide to play
Dyer, do you believe what he's saying about Endo? Be honest.
No. I already said about Endo. You remember what I said? I said last season when you guys started having injuries and you had to bring in Endo, you guys dropped off. I totally agree that Endo is a mile away. But
thank you very much.
Yeah, but my point is,
I chose McAllister.
In individual, I think in individual games, you still have midfielders that can come in and do a job because of how Arne Slot sets you up, and you can get a win and just move on. In our case, even if we replace Bukayo Saka, whoever is there cannot give us 7 big chances in a game, create those chances like Saka does. So we lose out a lot more. I think you guys are a little bit more.
If you compare Mo and Saka, I understand. But if you're comparing Endo and Saka, that's a different story, though, bro.
No, that's a different. Like I was wondering why.
That's why I didn't understand
why you're comparing the midfield. Like if you're going to compare best player for best player for each squad, you need to compare the best player for each team with the best player for the other.
Listen, like I said, the issue that we have is if one injury goes, we're in trouble. Like in that midfield, if he's talking about that midfield, that is, and Endo coming in to replace the likes of McAllister and Gravenberch, it's not an answer there. That's really silly to even argue that case, to be fair. But listen, so far Liverpool are the best team in the Premier League. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not like these Liverpool fans that's going to come on here and tell you bullshit. Oh, we've got nothing and all that stuff. We've always challenged to January, but when the wheels start falling off, is what replaces that's the problem, in my opinion. And if we don't make signings in January to complement the players that we already got right now, then there's a problem.
Don't you feel though, Patty, it's also a change of style under this manager instead of Klopp? Like Klopp would have.
You know what? I like that. I like what you just said there. It is the change of style. The players are like coming into
not 100 miles per hour.
Not only that, what I like about not only that 100 miles per hour. What I like about the way we play at the moment is we accommodate the opponent's best players as well. Like when you guys came to Liverpool, what happened? We took care of Cole Palmer, didn't we?
Yeah, took him out of the game,
and we got him out of the game, and we won that game comfortably afterwards. The only game I got pissed off at was the Arsenal game. We put Robertson and Saka together. That doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean?
So Fuzzy, can I say this? I think I understand your worry as the Liverpool fan when you say if you don't make signings in January, then
I've always been like that, bro.
I know. Like I understand where you're coming from. What I wanted to say was that was because under just like what Winter Surfer said, under Klopp, you guys played at 100 miles an hour. So those injuries were imminently.
It's gonna happen.
Going to happen, yeah. But under Arne Slot, you're playing more. You're playing more controlled than a tempo game. Yeah. That I think that the chances of having those same recurring injuries, just like you would have had when you're doing 100 miles an hour, is more reduced. So you stand a better chance of having your players fit for longer. Bless you, man.
Thank you.
Of having your players fit than getting injured. The way you guys are playing. So it's a different dispensation for Liverpool with their new manager and how they're playing. If they're still playing at 100 miles per hour, by now you'd have had Van Dijk injuries. You'd have had this person.
Also, they're picking and choosing when to play 100 miles an hour because, like, if it's late in a game and they need a goal, then they turn it on. But they
that's why we've got a game of two halves in it.
Whether they're choosing or not, though, we know under Klopp, it would have been.
Yeah, it would have been nuts.
Yeah, on the Klopp, it was- on
Listen,
the
I
Klopp,
love
it
Klopp,
was
man. I love Klopp,
from-
man.
from the
No,
get-go.
no, I'm
From the
just saying
get-go,
that
I'm joking with this. I'm joking.
Klopp was still here. You'd
Yeah.
probably have had more. You probably had a couple of injuries already. You know what I mean? That maybe affected you.
Do you know
bit.
how I
listen,
compare them?
that's
I
the way he
compare
plays,
Klopp
innit?
as a 100 meters coach and
Yeah.
Arne Slot as a 200-meter coach who tells you
Right.
keep your pace until the last 50 meters and then
Yeah.
burst down, but keep pace with everybody else. And that's you stand the chance of not having more injuries that way.
Listen, with that amount of points what we got now, and we could, get, during the season, there's no excuse for us not to win this league right now. There's no excuse.
there we
I'm
go.
not gonna sit here and tell you bullshit and say we've got weaknesses here and all that stuff. We're in a
Nice.
good position. We could have been further if we
So refreshing.
against Newcastle.
I'm gonna say
against
something.
Newcastle and
again.
Fulham.
Yes.
Against Newcastle and Fulham, maybe if we prepared better, maybe maybe we could have got the points on the board.
But
But we
Robertson's
didn't. But
not opposing.
I'm
I'm
still-
gonna
we're
say
still in
that
good
there is
position.
no
We're still in good
excuse
position.
for Liverpool if Saka's injured and had his surgery. There is no excuse for Liverpool not to win the league.
There was no excuse even if Saka was fit because you're 6 points ahead of us with a game in hand.
No,
You have-
I wouldn't
Hold on,
say
hold on,
that.
hold on,
Game
Mo,
at the
Mo, let me
Anfield.
finish.
I wouldn't say that.
Mo, let me finish. You're 6 points ahead with a game in hand. You have all world-class players in all departments of your team. In your midfield, you have a world-class player. In your defense, you have a world-class player. In your attack, you have a world-class player. You guys have an amazing squad. You have a
injuries are back,
manager.
yeah.
You have a
I don't
manager.
think they have a
You have a
world-class
manager who's
midfielder.
changed how you play, and you're playing very well. So there was still no excuse, even if Saka was fit. Now that Saka is injured, there's no excuse. No, let's not do that. That's a narrative, and because I don't want anybody giving excuses for us. We have it's on us to chase Liverpool down. I don't care how injured Saka is. I don't care who's in. Arteta, this is if you don't do it, goodbye. It's that
Oh, you
simple.
done with them, yeah?
Wow.
No,
Wow,
like,
damn.
yeah,
No,
Right,
hold on.
now we're talking.
I'm not gonna say that if
like I said,
I'm not
I said
gonna
this
say
last season.
Liverpool. Okay, me and Hussam, we do this must thing.
Mhm.
It's still the pressure is on one club in this league. There's only one club that has pressure to win the league. One. It's only Arsenal. No one else has pressure. No one else. If Arne Slot doesn't win the league for whatever reason,
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think he's gonna be under zero pressure from fans and from the board.
We didn't expect to
Especially
win it, bro.
in January.
Arteta,
Yeah.
Arteta, you said it, Dio. Arteta, the board might keep him. Fine, it's their decision. But the fans will have some questions. The fans will need answers.
We have to. We definitely lose. See, this is the thing about it. The
So
position.
me saying Liverpool, sorry, can I add one thing? Me saying Liverpool don't have an excuse not to win the league. It doesn't mean the Arne Slot is a failure or has to be sacked or no.
It's the position you're in. It's the position.
Exactly. You are here now. The best player in the opposition's team, which is the most influential player, is injured. Imagine if Arsenal were here today and Salah is injured for the rest of the season. Okay. There's no reason for you not to win the league.
I
This
hear,
is Saka.
Mo,
Saka's
I hear you.
important to you.
I hear you, but even with Saka when he was fit, Liverpool was still 6-9 points ahead of us. So my point was the position that Liverpool is already in. If they lose it,
They've strengthened their position.
exactly.
And they got the opportunity in January to strengthen
Exactly.
it as well.
That's my
Yeah.
point. My point is even when we had Saka, they were 6 points. At some time,
And there's
they were
no
9
one that
points.
can replace. There's no one in the
What-
market that can replace Saka. There's
Exactly.
just no one.
So-
There's no one.
So my
There's
thing
no-
was, regardless of
Salah
how
is
you,
there. We can get Salah.
regardless,
Shut up, Mo.
regardless of how you want to make it about now they've just strengthened their position because when Saka was fit, they were still ahead of us. So the point for me is like Liverpool is in a position where if they lose the league to Arsenal, they don't have any pressure, right? If they lose the league to
Right.
Arsenal,
Yeah.
fair enough. I totally understand that. But then
Mhm.
being 9 points or being 6 points ahead and losing to Arsenal without
It'd be a
Arsenal's
huge
best player,
disappointment.
without
It'd be a huge
Arsenal's
disappointment.
best player is where we can then banter them and say we even lost Saka and we came up and we still won the league over you. But it's not a pressure on them, and I get that.
They bottled it. Even with Saka, I agree with you. If Liverpool don't win the league, even if Saka's fit, they bottle the league. But doesn't mean
It's
they
not a
fail.
must.
Let me give you
It's
an
not a must.
example.
It's not a must.
It's only Mo, the 22-23 season when Arsenal lost the league to City. Arsenal bottled the league, yes. But I still credited Arteta for being there. Why? You were
He wasn't
fifth the season before.
He
No
wasn't
one
expected
expected
to
you
be there.
even to
Exactly.
challenge.
They weren't supposed to be there. yeah.
We banter. Yes, you bottled it. You failed, but doesn't mean you're under pressure. Arteta challenging that season no one wanted him sacked because he said, like, if you got that to challenge from 5th, maybe next year you will win the league. He failed the year after. That's a different story.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But I want to hear. Okay, we welcome Vate to the stream.
I like how you always want to make it about the banter. When last season, was it a bottle job? No, it was not.
It wasn't. It definitely wasn't.
Exactly.
No. I never said that.
The last day.
I don't think you were even. I don't think you were even leading. It was Liverpool leading, then City
was leading majority
leading.
of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Liverpool and City majority of the
You
season.
won 16 out of 18 games, man. That's just a hell of a run.
He did
You know
what
I mean?
to be honest, he did what he can. However, there was an extra thing that he could have done in some games, and that could have won him the
It was
league.
that Villa game.
Exactly. Look, a couple of things made us lose last season, and I keep saying this. If you go back and look at the table, Manchester United, Manchester City, and Arsenal both won 28 games apiece. It's not like City, it's not like City won 29 and Arsenal won 28. No, we both won 28 games apiece. The difference was in the draws and the losses. We lost 5 and we drew 5. City drew 7 and lost 3.
Yeah.
You know what, Dyer, you had a bad run. You had a bad run last season when City had their bad run last season. That was the difference, right? You couldn't take advantage of it. That was the thing. If you'd have won just one of those games, you would have won.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the difference was 1 game or 2 draws for us.
Yeah, it was just
and
that
is on Arteta. That definitely is on Arteta, not on anybody else. You know, I'm not
100%.
responsible.
Let me do a couple of these. So, guys, 550 people here on the chat, people. Let's get to 300 likes live, guys. Hit that like button underneath the live chat. I think we have more votes than actual likes. It's actually true, which is kind of crazy to me. John is saying, ever since Kilk sang that Pip song, it's not has been good. All our rivals are in tears. Big up Mo and a panel. I'm not missing the super chat up this time. Thank you, John. I know.
There you go. There's your clickbait material.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to hear that Liverpool Arsenal thing from actually the Man City people. Who do you think actually is favorites to win the league in the current moment? And do you think Arsenal can catch Liverpool at all? You guys have battled it with Arsenal 2 years back to back. Because a lot of Arsenal, by the way, I'm seeing a change of tone on the Arsenal fans. Not Dayo. I'm seeing a change of tone about catching Liverpool. Wallahi. Winter Surfer does more shows. Me, Kelk, Winter Surfer, Dayo, we do a lot of shows together. The majority, some of the Arsenal fans that come on the show, this change of tone now is like, we'll catch Liverpool now. This is our time now, January, to the end of the season. We'll catch Liverpool. We're just waiting for them to drop points. We'll capitalize. I don't know what the City fans can tell us.
This is pre-Saka injury, right? This is pre-Saka injury.
It's pre-Saka injury. I'm telling you, bro, it's no excuse for Arsenal should go and invest in January, bro.
And let's wait and see till January.
I think give people in January though.
Let's wait for the window to open and see what they do. This idea, like I love when people keep talking about, Arsenal don't invest in January. It's not true. 2 seasons ago, or the 3 seasons, we wanted Caicedo for 80 million, but we didn't get him. So we were willing to spend 80 million in January. Let's not sit here and say Arsenal don't spend money. Okay, last season we spent about 40-50 million in January on two players, right? We brought in Trossard and Jorginho, 12 and 27, 40 something odd million, right? If you add an extra 10-15 million, you can go get a good player for 50 million in January. Arsenal do spend money in January. Let's stop this narrative. People just want to banter, and I just like, if we're going to talk football, let's talk football. Let's wait for the window to open and see what we do. And I think that this Bukayo Saka injury, the fact that he's going to get surgery and probably be out for the rest of the season, is a knock in the head to say, listen, you definitely have to spend in January if you want to go on to win. Unless the club owners and the manager say, let's just ride out this season. Let's not try to win this season. Let's let it go. We'll spend in summer. The fans will not be happy. That could be something that the club wants to do.
It shouldn't be.
But it should not be something the club wants. Arteta should be telling the club, you know what? Let's spend the 200 million now in this January, and let's just get some key players in. I know that we have these players on. Let's move on. Go on and win. That's it. You know. So and again, I said this to you, Mo, at the very beginning of the season, before any ball was kicked. What was my prediction for who would be first, second, and third? I'm wrong about third now, but remember what I said? I said Arsenal to win. I said City second and Liverpool third. That was my prediction.
You're definitely going to be wrong about City finishing second this season.
I'm wrong about that, but yeah, you know, so
we all are wrong. Nobody expected the fraud to just transmit the wrong energy. But before we talk about City, Peter, talk about Arsenal, Liverpool.
This Arsenal Liverpool season, it's cute. It's cute in terms of
Cute.
it's cute in terms of like what the challenge is going to be. Like it's kind of like, oh, let's see what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen, and I respect Fozy for his humbleness. Him saying, you know what, we need to invest to guarantee winning this league. I honestly believe this manager, if he were to prioritize the Prem, he's winning it. Now, if it's the Prem, Champions League, FA League, right? If you're looking at all those, there's the challenge. There's where you need to invest to have the bodies. But if this manager said, guys, we're focusing on the Prem, they got it locked up. There's already a points gap between them and Arsenal. Arsenal no longer have their star boy available. It's done.
Arsenal also have to go to Anfield at the end of the season.
Yeah, late in the season as well.
Arsenal fan is
thing,
exactly saying what they said. Do you remember the Etihad when Don Robbie went to the Etihad Stadium and did his show there?
They gagged the first one and then they didn't even try in the second time.
Yeah, I think
that's why Rodri called out their mentality.
And they didn't want to hear.
This is what City fans do.
He was right.
They expect. He was wrong. He was totally wrong, because what you're asking every team to do is come to your home ground and open up and play expansive football so you can spank them. I can pull up a stat right now for you. Every single top 6 team in the last 5 years that has gone to the Etihad and done that nonsense has collected 5-0, 4-0, 6-0, 5-0. I can list all those teams.
Wait,
I think we were there for the taking that game.
No,
United just won against us. What are you talking about?
I'm not talking about this season. I'm saying for
last season. We were there for the taking.
Focus,
and you decided not to play.
Victor, focus and stay in the conversation. We're talking about last season when Arsenal came and we played a draw.
Season before.
Yeah, when we played a draw, and everybody said, "Why didn't you go on attack?" I said, any team that is stupid enough to do that to that Man City team wants to get beaten 6-0. You want to mitigate your losses, even if you're going to take away just 1 point from it as a draw. Because the truth is, you'll be stupid, right? If you're chasing City, who are a juggernaut at the time, you go to their home and just play expansive football. Yeah, because you think you're what? You're magician Harry Potter. This is not Harry Potter yet now. Like, what are we doing here?
I don't think we were that way last season at all.
Yeah, we weren't.
We
and
were
what Kels and I are trying to.
It was a 2-man carry job the whole season.
I hear you.
What Kels and I are trying to point out is, and again, I understand it. You hate when we bring this up, but it is a mentality thing. And the reason why there's been so much of a recognition with regards to the fight, Fozy can attest to this. His manager, obviously he's got a different manager now, but his previous manager would go to fight, not go to prevent damages, not go to what's the best case scenario. He would go full tilt, and he would go full tilt and still leave with a draw because the intent was to go for a win. The mentality that we keep pointing out, and you don't like to hear it, is when Rodri and Bernardo Silva are telling you that.
The Klopp's record at the Etihad is not good.
One win, I think it is. Not 2 wins. One in the Champions League, one in the league.
Yeah, that's
so exactly.
Yeah, but our record at Anfield is no better. Both clubs would go to fight each other, not concede and say, we're going here and we're going to make sure we at least get a draw. We never had that type of approach. And
this mentality thing, hold on, Victor. This mentality thing that you keep saying again, you're talking about a team that has a player like Mo Salah, who consistently over the last 3-4 seasons has scored over 27 goals every season. So of course they have the tools to go there and do that type of thing. You're not talking about a young Arsenal team and a manager who literally has just built the team, and you're asking them to go do exactly what Liverpool, who have the experienced world-class players, are doing. It's just wild when it's banter, and that's why I said I don't understand how you cannot sit there and say it's like you telling Arsenal right now.
You just don't like hearing it. It's not banter.
No. It's like you telling me to go to Anfield right now and play expansive football against this current Liverpool team that is in their.
We're not telling you to play expansive. We're just telling you not to turtle. We're not telling you to. We're not telling you to play open line.
Your team was so. Your team was so
for your lives
amazing
for 90 minutes.
Your team was so amazing. Listen, your team was so amazing, right? with the greatest manager in the world, the best player in the world, the best goalkeeper, according to you guys, the best striker in Erling
Nobody
Haaland.
says Ederson is the best keeper. That is
I
the
do.
biggest
Kels,
lie
I
out
do.
there.
Some of your fans say, they compare him with Alisson, and I just laugh. But anyways, you guys say you have the best of everything, and you still could not score against us 2 seasons ago at your home ground. This season, it took you the last minute to beat
Why are we
a
talking
10-man
about that now? Why are
So
you
why
diverting? We talked about mentality. Why are we now talking about goals?
What is the mentality again? You could not beat a 10-man Arsenal. You had to take a draw at the end of the day. You had to take a draw at the end of the day.
Why are we shifting the conversation? We talked about mentality.
So I'm painting, and I'm asking you again.
Tanked that game the second Rodri went out. Everybody just collapsed, and I get it.
Exactly.
And we still got it. We still fought to the very last minute and got a draw in that game without our Ballon d'Or player. But the whole point that I want to bring up when we talked about Arsenal and Liverpool,
10 men for like an hour.
Yeah.
No, they had 10 men for 45 minutes. Relax.
Yeah, it's already the end of the half.
Oh, so no, I meant added on time in the first half and added on time in the second half. It's like an hour.
Exactly.
All right, fair.
Exactly.
All right, and a manager chose. Hold on, let's stay off focus because Dio likes to say, "Let's stay focused." And a manager in Arteta who sat next to Pep for seasons and helped. I'm gonna give him credit. Helped with how we were able to be successful as an assistant manager. That same manager said, "You know what? Let me give the ball to City for 45 minutes, or to Surfer's point, let me give the ball to City for an hour." And try and see whether we can still leave here with a win. It's a mentality shift. Sometimes, yes, you can concede to someone being better than you offensively, but you don't give them more chances at actually scoring against you. But I want to bring it back to the whole title chase.
Before you go on, can I talk about? I really want to chime in on the mentality.
Can I just credit Mo with something? Because Mo said something I didn't think would happen. On the previous stream, he got Dio to rigorously defend Chelsea against Liverpool fan, and now he's making me defend Arsenal more than I've ever done in my entire streaming life. So you expected them, a 10-man Arsenal with a 2-1 win down to 10 men at the Etihad at the home of the champions, to somehow take the game to you and try and attack and not hold on.
No,
it's so disingenuous.
Okay, let me put context. I
don't think it was that
when
game.
Rodri, hold on. Let me let me put the story for people that people forgot. Rodri called out Arsenal mentality at the end of the season when they asked him. No, at the end of last season, right away. Just the end of last season, when they asked him, when did you know that you were going to win the league? He said, when Arsenal came to our ground and defended. Let me just tell you that Rodri was just talking out of his ass for a couple of reasons before you talk.
He was.
Tell you why. Let me tell you why. I actually think Arsenal had the better opportunities of this game, apart from the set-piece Ake header in the beginning of the game. Arsenal were closer. And let me tell you what I mean. Arsenal, at that time, were leading Man City in the race. So Arsenal were ahead. So them going to the Etihad and walking away with a point is actually a good result for them. Not a bad result. It's a bad result for City. City needed to win to be ahead of Arsenal. Let me continue. And for Rodri to say that Arsenal needed to come out and have the mentality to try to win, well, Arsenal did that, Mr. Rodri, a season before at the Etihad when they needed the win, Rodri, because they were behind you and got smacked 4-1 when they had 50%. So Rodri was definitely sleeping out of his ass.
Okay, let me respond to it.
That would have crushed us.
Kels,
I don't know if we come back from that.
But they were ahead of in the league. Why did
they would have buried us.
But hold on,
they would have been 3 more points ahead of us.
Okay, let me tell you, Kilk. At that time, hold on. Let me respond to her. At that time, Kilk, the last time you lost was in December. This was end of March. So you were already on a streak. You were winning games every week.
Hold on.
You were winning games.
No, this is the.
You had not
guys,
lost
hold on.
You had not lost almost 60 games at the Etihad.
To make up the points.
You had not lost almost 60 games at the Etihad when we came and took that draw. You literally are saying a team at home that has built this gigantic juggernaut record at home where nobody has been able to beat them. And then you're ahead and you're like, I'm just going to go there. And
who broke the streak?
If you're trying to win the title, you have to win those kind of games.
Yeah, no, they didn't have to win.
Who broke the streak at the Etihad? Who ended up coming to the Etihad, taking on the fight and broke the streak?
We had lost 3 points that day. And they've got 3 more points ahead of us. We're not coming back from that.
you guys are just
There weren't enough games left in the season.
Why would they go for it and risk losing? Like, okay,
because it would have guaranteed them winning the league. That's why.
Yeah, because if they had beat us, we would not have come back from that. There weren't enough games left in the season.
Guaranteed. Okay, hold on. A bigger chance of winning the league if they drew that game, which is what they did. The chance of them losing the league would be 100% if they lost that game. They would have been behind you already.
That's not true.
You want a manager hadn't gamble?
I don't remember what the exact.
I know exactly.
There weren't enough games left in the season to make up like 4 or 5.
I know exactly the situation, Kilk. Arsenal were 1 point ahead of City, right? We're 1 point. It was game week 30.
Games. They're 4 points ahead.
But the most likely outcome. Okay, let me ask you guys something. What was the most likely outcome if Arsenal went to the City and played exact same attack and left themselves open? What was the most likely outcome? And people in the chat, you can answer this as well. What was going to be the most likely outcome if you go to the Etihad and try to play toe-to-toe?
We're not.
I think they would have won.
City's going to win.
No, I think Arsenal were going to win. We were running out of gas at that point.
You literally, do you know, Kilk, you won every game from December to that game. You won every game.
Okay. Yeah, we got that second life. We got life from that game.
This is the point. This game, I think they're not going to understand the mentality. Fozy understands it. The rest of these aren't going to understand the mentality.
I promise you, he doesn't.
They don't. Fozy does. Surfer doesn't understand the mentality. Dial definitely doesn't.
Don't talk to me about
I'm surprised that Mo doesn't understand this either.
This is the arrogance. This is the arrogance that
there's no arrogance. We stay humble.
Had at Barcelona.
Stay humble. Stay humble.
This is a Pep arrogance. This is a Pep arrogance that goes to his fans because he had it at Barcelona as well when we played them and we played defensive. Oh, why didn't you come out and play football and stuff like that? This is the arrogance.
No, it's not the arrogance.
This is the problem. You credit Liverpool for trying to play football against you. Liverpool hardly won against you at the Etihad.
We hardly won against them.
No, but the thing is, and someone put it in the chat, actually, Pep tried to play more defensively at Anfield over the last few years and still lost. It's just a record that they have that you have there that you can't break. You have a
Thank you, Surfer. You're making my point, though.
No matter who your manager is, you have a terrible record at Anfield.
You're making my point.
But for you to say that Arsenal should have gone up there and suddenly played expansive football.
We're not saying that.
Why are you saying that?
You guys let Vader explain, guys. Let Vader
explain. You guys keep doing extremes, and Mo's a master at this. He says, "Oh, they should have
gone
in
anything." I'm a humble guy. I'm a humble guy.
Open expansive.
Yeah, we're not saying go.
You are making me defend Arsenal, and that's
you're
not
choosing
good for
to.
my health.
No one's making you.
That's
You
what
have
I'm
a
doing
choice.
right now. That's what you're making me do.
No one's
I hope you remember this, Tyler.
Surfer, no one's in your room right now with a gun to your head. You're choosing.
You can't see the whole screen.
You know what? You know what's funny?
Okay.
You know what's funny? When I hear City fans, right, say we had the greatest manager, you had the greatest midfielder, you had two of the best midfielders at the time.
All right, just say you were scared and we were too good. That's why you chose to do it.
Exactly, we were scared and we played. And I said that. I said we came here to not lose.
Okay, so understand.
Hold on. So what about that? Hold on. What about that? Can you not accept that? Listen, you don't go
we accept
out
it.
of a giant. Hold on, exactly. But
we
that's
accept it.
listen. And when you say that, that's bad mentality.
It is.
It is not because
we accept that mentality. What you're missing is we accept that mentality
because you know who you're going to, and you go there prepared to not lose the game. City would batter you if you go and play expansive football at the way City was playing at that time. You hadn't lost at home. You hadn't lost at home.
And you beat Arsenal 4-1 when they played expansive football the season before.
That was a different team. They were a different team a year later, Mo.
That's nonsense. You ask us to bring the game.
All right, Dial, you spoke. Can I speak?
We brought the game to you. You beat us 4-1. We came and played. We wanted.
That was a year later with different players.
A year later, we say, you know what? A year later, we're like, you know what? Let's go there and make sure we don't lose the game.
Yes, change of mentality. Can I speak to the change of mentality now?
Let him talk now.
All right. Can I speak on the change of mentality now? Now, the master and Mo wants to bring up what you guys did 2 years ago to justify what you do a year later. All right.
I thought the excuse for that was because Saliba was out.
Exactly.
Rob Holding is
they're a different team a year later with a Declan Rice. And we're just pointing out we accept the mentality change. We accept it. You just don't like when we point it out. You came to the Etihad like we've gone to Anfield and play, yes, a little more defensive, like Surfer want to bring up, but we did not turtle and say all we want is a draw. when we point out that mentality and why Roger was like, these punks came to our ground and they're like, let's just take a point. They don't actually want to go and take the title. Then yes, he said to a man, to a club, we were like, that's when we knew we were going to win this league, because they were going to play to win it and you guys were going to play to hold on to it. That's the mentality, accept it or not. That's the mentality that we're trying to point out.
So when you go to Liverpool and you play defensive so that you don't lose the game.
See, that's where you're missing out. No. That's where you're missing out.
Because you don't go there to play to win.
We do go to play to win, but we're a little more defensive in how we attack them.
Why do you change your style of game to play defensively? We know Pep doesn't play defensive football. Why do you go?
What are you talking about? That's how we won the Champions League.
How do you go?
Why you let this guy talk about not playing defensive?
Why do you go
defensive in the Champions League?
Stop it. I'm not talking Champions League here. I am saying your record against Liverpool.
You're talking about my manager, and my manager not playing defensive, so I had to correct you.
Your manager does not play defensive against Arsenal, Tottenham, anybody else. He plays offensive against us. He controls the game. He chokes those teams out. You go to Anfield and you set up defensively because you don't want to lose. Does that mean that your mentality is weak at City?
Like you did.
Does that mean Etihad? Why wouldn't we park the bus at the Etihad? We don't have the manpower to go toe to toe with you at your home ground. So what are you saying? When you do it at Anfield, it's okay.
You don't park the bus ever.
You don't park the bus, Dio.
You have played defensively against Liverpool at Anfield.
There's a difference between defensive and parking the bus. Why are you acting like you don't understand the difference?
Hold on, what is the difference between defensive and parking the bus?
It's like saying you can play a more conservative open game versus an open basketball game.
What does that mean?
We don't commit all our defenders moving forward, playing like wing backs.
Hold on. So when we park the bus, what does that mean? It means we're being defensive, right? We're not coming out to play. Is that what that means?
You weren't even like trying to go.
Hold on. So when you play defensive against Liverpool, what does that mean?
This is why you're not winning the league this year.
What does that mean?
This is why you're not going to win the league this year.
No, but this is why you're not winning the league this year.
No,
we're not winning the league.
We're not winning the league because of mentality.
You don't have the mentality to go to teams and beat them. You didn't have the mentality to come to beat us with 10 men at your home ground. I was a man out at your home ground for an hour. You didn't have the mentality to come up 2-2 and beat me 3-2. So what are you saying? That's the reason why
you doing here? You didn't have the mentality to win.
We had the mentality to win 4 titles in a row. Don't talk about mentality.
Yeah, right.
Do this,
so where's the
mentality? It doesn't end well.
The 5th one. Where's the mentality to go for the 5th one?
Where's the mentality to go for a 5th one that we've never seen in the Prem?
Yeah. Where is it now? I mean, you already did 4. You might as well go do 5. I mean, nobody had seen 4 until you did it.
Oh, and if you go ahead
and carry on. You want to be disingenuous, and we're having proper.
The reason why we can't do 5 is because we have a club like Liverpool that have the mentality to win a title. That's why.
Yeah, because that means because you don't have the mentality this season too. So we'll wait and see. I made my prediction at the beginning of the season.
Vader, man.
No, he forced me to say that because the guy's moving reckless. That's why we're not winning the league this year, because a club like Liverpool have the mentality to win it.
You got to understand where he's coming from.
Yeah,
you can't go to the Etihad
you're right.
and play expensive.
You're not winning it because Liverpool have played so well.
Vader is disingenuous.
Well, I favor Liverpool to win it because of their mentality.
This is what I can't stand about City fans. They are so disingenuous when they speak, right? When they do it, and in the Champions League, when you played defensively to win the Champions League, did your mentality fail you? But just because you won.
Defensively.
So when we play
Champions League,
when Arsenal plays defensively, it's mentality. But when you do it in the Champions League, it's
when do we play defensively in the Champions League?
Vader just said it. Vader said it, not you, Kelk. Vader made that.
We played defensive versus Inter in the Champions League final.
Was it your mentality?
I'm saying we can go for a win and still playing defensive. We did not turtle and say we're going to play for pens.
It is the dumbest thing when I hear it. He says when we do it, we're doing it defensively, but we're not turtling. But then when you do it,
I don't know why you're fighting me on this one.
It is just the dumbest thing.
I don't know. No, I don't. Hold on. Let me just say this. Surfer, one sec. Surfer, let me just say this. I honestly don't know why we're fighting on this because Dio and I are in agreement.
Most ready for bed.
Did you turtle? When you play defensively, are you turtling, or you're playing you're playing a tactic that you're hoping that if I get a chance?
No, I didn't.
Can I ask you something? It's only teams that play offensive football have the mentality to win titles. Did you think that Inter, when we went to the Barcelona stadium, when we were winning 3-1, and we played defensively and we ended up winning a triple, don't you think that we had mentality at that time?
You were winning 3-1, you said?
we already were 3-1 up at our ground. We went
3-1 up in a tie, right?
Yeah.
And they went down to 10 men again in the new camp.
All right. So after winning, going for a win, being 3-1 up is very different than a one-off game in a league.
Yeah.
That's what I want to point out.
You were trying to kill their hope.
Arsenal at that time, Arsenal were winning because they were ahead of you in the league. Getting a draw means that they stay ahead of you.
Mo, why don't you do your whole revisionist?
Playing for a draw gave us a lifeline. It was like throwing a life vest to somebody drowning.
This is what I find funny with Mo. Mo likes to do his.
You were not drowning. You were coming from a. You were coming from a.
Lost that game, we would have been drowning.
Gator just went. Kelk, you were coming from a 15-game streak where your bad result were throwing away at Anfield. That was your bad result. Throwing away at Anfield. That was the only bad result from September to March 30. That's down. What down? You were playing better than Arsenal at that time. People thought you would win the Champions League.
If we had lost that game, then it would have been bad.
You weren't down at that time. You were playing your best football of the season.
We would have been.
Yeah, but you were playing the best football in the world at that time.
No, we were. Arsenal were. Arsenal lost one game.
I swear last season towards the end, you were... You were playing
they were destroying everyone. They're 5-0, 6-0 at West Ham.
You were
destroying everybody because Arteta was playing good ball.
You were too. I just checked. You were too.
No, Mo.
We had a lot of like cringy results. We had that Chelsea
you can't compare the team. You can't compare the team though. I mean, you guys are at a different level.
It's okay.
Arsenal that were really poor.
Arsenal, according to Mo, according to Surfer, according to Dio, did the right thing. They did the right thing.
Absolutely.
Right. So, Mo, this is what I find funny, though, because you like to do the hindsight. Oh, that was the right decision or wrong decision, right?
It's definitely the right decision.
No, they didn't win the league. It wasn't the right decision.
Because they fucked up the Villa game, not this game.
Okay, so what?
Great.
Okay, so guess what? What if they played to win? You think the mentality is different or the same versus Aston Villa?
Should I answer? Okay, simple. You finish the question?
Yeah.
I think if they went to the Etihad and played for the win, that Villa game wouldn't matter because they would have lost already, and the league would be over at that time.
Why would it have been over when there were still games to be played? They lost the league by 2 points, Mo.
Okay, I'm telling you, at that time they were 1 point ahead. If they went to the Etihad and tried to attack, they would have lost the game, and the Aston Villa game, win or lose, would not have mattered.
No,
because you would have already won the league.
Can I just say something about
that?
Arsenal?
Is my take. Guys, answer the question, Victor. Hold on, sir. Sir, Victor, you asked me a question, but because you didn't like the answer.
No, but I'm trying to understand why would we have already won the league? I don't know. I don't get
because you would have been 2 points ahead of them by then, and the win or lose against Villa would not have mattered.
Can I just say something about
because you?
I don't know why they changed what was working.
After the 0-0 draw, can I just counter the Arsenal were playing better football than City? After the Arsenal game, City beat Villa 4-1. City they beat Palace 4-2. Luton 5-1, Brighton 4-0, Forest 2-0, Wolves 5-1, Fulham 4-0, Spurs 2-0. So I don't know where you get this thing that Arsenal were playing better football than
we were down. Who's down?
Wait. Arsenal lost one game. And I don't even remember what they
you
drew.
just list off the games after the Arsenal game or before the Arsenal game?
After the Arsenal game.
No, but he's talking about leading into the Arsenal game. So how about you do the 5 games leading into Arsenal game?
I can tell you the 5 games. Brentford 1-0, Bournemouth 1-0, and then you started Luton 6, Man United 3, Copenhagen. You drew at Anfield away. You played Newcastle and you won 2-0. And now you wanted Arsenal to go to you and try to press you and try to play expensive football, so they can get smashed. You know what? You guys know what the problem is? Do you guys know what the problem is? You know the problem is we have evidence just 1 year before that of Arsenal playing expensive.
They were a different one. They were a different team, Mo. It's disingenuous, like Dio likes to tell you.
What do you mean different team?
They had Saliba this time around, and all we heard about was
I'm telling you, instead of losing 4-1, they would have lost 2-1.
Well, you made it seem like he would have been.
I'm telling you, bro. No one goes to the Etihad and try to attack City hoping for the win last season. Now, yes. Last season, the season before, no one goes to the Etihad and try to attack Man City. No one.
Except for Liverpool.
Liverpool and Spurs.
Yeah, but
Liverpool is the only club to have won the league.
the difference between
Chelsea-
Liverpool
When
and
you talk about
Arsenal.
mentality, you guys don't want to hear it.
But
Liverpool are the only club to have come to our grounds and fight. Do they leave with the win? No,
We don't.
but
We
they
don't.
come to the
Spurs
ground to
always come
fight.
But is the
Yeah.
situation we was at
Club
though?
to
We
have
was in a
won
better situation than Arsenal at the
Now,
time though. That's what
Arsenal,
you got to understand,
keep
bro.
doing your thing.
Number one,
Listen to the
Arsenal. did it.
Liverpool, listen to the Liverpool fan. He's speaking sense right now, Vader. You need to listen. So you can
Vader,
understand.
like if you got
Get what
if
he's
you look at the situation Liverpool were at the time, we was better. We was winning trophies and all that stuff. That's why we was going toe to toe with you guys. Arsenal at the time wasn't. You know what I mean? This is why they had to get a draw and things like that to
Okay,
build up.
Let me agree with
momentum.
that. Let me agree with
Mhm.
that. So you're telling me your club, they were winning trophies, they were winning. That's why they could come to the Etihad with the
It's
mentality
confidence,
that they
innit? It's
had, right?
confidence, yeah, it's confidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I point out a difference in confidence, a difference in mentality for Arsenal, I got people crying and saying I'm being disingenuous. There's a
No.
difference in terms of both clubs. Your club had the mentality, folks. You're winning trophies. Arsenal weren't. You just told me that yourself.
Understand what Fuzzy is saying. He's saying that because they had won before in the past, right? And they had gone toe to toe with you.
And we beat you at the Etihad before as well.
So they had the mentality.
No. Because they know who they're coming up against. They've been there before with you.
So they
It's
had the
something
mentality.
It's different
Mhm.
for a team that has not been there
No.
before.
Also, Liverpool
Now,
has a
if
sign
you
of
set up-
players who know how to
Listen,
win.
if you set up,
You're
if you
using
set up,
different words to say the same thing. They had
No.
confidence. They had
No, there is
experience.
a difference between confidence and loser and winner mentality. That's different.
Exactly. Don't forget what
It's
Arsenal
so
were doing
different.
before that. They lost 4-1 before that, and they used to get battered on a regular basis at the Etihad.
Loser mentality. Loser mentality is
They
different
were
than
a
having
much
the
better
confidence.
team
I
last year
can,
than the
I
season
can have the
before.
confidence or be a little bit cautious, or I can be a loser mentality. Arsenal going to the Etihad, they win to play the best card, which is if
Don't
we go
lose.
there,
Should we get
defend,
Draw. It's not a bad
and
thing.
we're still ahead of the league.
get
And-
some
and-
and-
A bit fuzzy.
And-
Yeah.
We
How's
need
it
the
always
Doctor. We
comes
need
to
the Doctor
play?
Strange
And here's
time
the-
always
stone
come to
and go
play,
back in
and
time.
Chelsea
Here's
come
the
to
thing.
Play
play.
for a win. See
No,
what
no,
happens.
Here's the thing. In isolation, the decision to go there and not lose and get a point was right.
Mm.
Overall, against in other games where we could have picked up those points, where we messed up, that's where I put it on my team. Where against Villa, even though we played better, the last 20 minutes, we lost focus.
When did you play Villa? When did you? How many games after
I
playing
think
City
it
did
was
you play
like 2
Villa?
or 3 games
I
after.
think like 2 or 3 games after we played you.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so, of course, in that particular game, that's the game that I'll say we did not have the mentality.
Oh, that game. Okay.
Yes, not against you because we were
No.
playing better. 20 minutes, that's where everything fell apart.
Okay.
The last 20 minutes of the game.
Okay.
And if only, again, like I said earlier, if you look at the table, you won 28 games, we won 28 games. So what Rodri's saying doesn't make no sense to me.
It does make sense because
Listen,
some
hold on,
clubs
hold on.
got to break the streak.
Listen,
You
listen.
guys did not think that you were capable of breaking the streak, so you left it
Let
to
me
someone
finish,
else.
Let me finish. Let me finish. We didn't leave anything to somebody else. You didn't win more games than I did last season. You only drew more. That's all that you did. You went into certain.
That's all
games
that
to
I
draw.
did?
You went into certain games to draw, and when we came to your place to draw, you want to call it mentality.
What are you talking about? We went
games
into
did we go
certain
to
games
draw?
to draw.
When Rodri had a red
Do
card,
that.
when
How you
Rodri-
let this man say this?
when Rodri had a red card and he was out for 3 games, in those games, you guys set up defensively. You refused to attack. That's why you drew those games. Yes
I
or
can
no?
tell you,
Yes or no?
hand
Yes or
on
no?
heart, there is no
Yeah.
game we went into for a draw, Dio.
When Rodri was out with the headbutts that he did or the nonsense he did with 3 red cards, and then you guys went on a binge of 3 or 4 games where you lost 1 game and drew 2. Do you remember last season?
We didn't go to play for a draw.
You remember
the
how you
result
guys
was a
played?
draw. We did not go to play for a
do you
draw.
remember how you set up and how you played?
Oh, but this is ridiculous.
Okay, well then that means let's say let me not put that you went there to play for a draw. You played enough to get a draw because if you went there to win and you didn't win and you got a draw, that's what it is. It means that the level that you played at was just good enough to get you a draw.
Wait, which game are we talking about?
I said when after Rodri got his red card last season, you guys had I think you had like 3 games. One Champions League game, and I think you had
We
I
could
think
play
it
the
was
Champions League game. That
No,
wasn't
sorry,
an
no,
issue.
no, sorry,
It was a Carabao Cup game.
Carabao Cup game.
Well,
and
he
League game.
doesn't care about that
Okay,
anymore.
We need to stop having this mentality
but he's saying
conversation.
Pep doesn't care about the Carabao Cup. He
You're the one-
throws
you're the
that all
one
the
who
time
keeps on
now.
bringing up-
They
you're
won
the
4 in a
one
row.
who
He doesn't care.
No,
You're the one
I
who-
won't be able to
Is
convince you of winning mentality.
that the right
Rodri
mentality
tried
to
to
win the
tell you. You
conversation?
guys
You're the
don't
one-
hear
You're
it.
the
so
one who
don't
keeps on bringing up
We play
mentality. all the
70
time.
games a season. Sometimes you got to pick and choose.
Exactly. So if we pick and choose to come and get a draw against juggernauts, the champions, the current champions, all of a sudden that's mentality. Come on, man, Vader. So yours wasn't mentality against Inter for you to win the Champions League. You playing defensive to win the Champions League.
Right,
We
wasn't
played
mentality.
defensive.
We played to win, and we won.
Really don't.
people don't do crack.
We're going for it.
Why would you play
He
defensive?
didn't do defensive. Let me do, guys. Let me do the super chat.
I think Inter just played better than we did.
Yeah, that's
Let
it.
me do the
That's what
super
they did.
chats.
He didn't play defensive. Inter played better than you. That wasn't defensive.
John, thank you so
Inter
much.
were way better in that game.
Some of the super chats are very interesting, actually. Arsenal must, Chelsea can. People still think can Chelsea win the league? Yeah, probably. But Liverpool will. You never walk alone. We'll see if Liverpool will. Mohamed Salah will be the GOAT.
Chelsea are chilling.
Listen to Luke Skywalker, guys. Thank you, Luke, for supporting the channel. We have 600 people here. Let's get to 300 likes, people. Hit that like button. Come on, guys. Aim team. After all these years, you can see Arteta is a very defensive coach. He's not. That's a very wrong statement.
He's not.
It's actually not. Sam,
He has some very good defenders right now, though. And he's
but he's not a defensive coach. He plays.
Arteta
Arteta likes to have possession. It's very obvious. He likes to have possession when he can. He's not a defensive coach.
Only against weaker competition.
See?
No,
leave it though. Leave it though. Rise above.
Let it go, mate. Let it go, bro.
You really think? Hold on. You really think that? And you really think there is one way to play football, Vator?
No, I don't. There's many ways to play football. I admire how Inter play football. I admire how Bayern play football.
If Mikel Arteta adapts and changes style to play against maybe opposition that he thinks they're better than him, and he adapts to defend a little bit deeper or try to win the points some other way, that is bad or that is good?
If you need to adjust how you want to play to win a game, I don't think it's bad.
How's that
But
bad?
my point is to win a game.
But they had better chances than you in that game, in 0-0 game. You guys remember that?
They had better
chances than you, right?
Yeah, they had the better chances. But yeah, but that
And
was
so he set up defensive, but he did for the win.
using my games.
Well,
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus, they had about a couple of 2-on-2. Gabriel Jesus shot his bat, couldn't pass the ball, and he couldn't shoot. Guys, so that means Vator, he defended, yes, but he played for the win.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not going to see. Don't remind him.
It means he needed to create more chances than he did.
We did create more chances than you in that game.
It's not about creating more than me. It's about creating enough to win the game.
Hold on. You played and did not create any chance against us. We created
one from a set piece. One from a set piece.
How many chances am I going to create when you're defending for your life?
Exactly. So this season where we came and brought the game to you when we're 2-1, explain that to me. The mentality. You just like being disingenuous.
Niall, I'm not being disingenuous. I just keep reminding you. You don't like hearing it. Rodri said, no one told him to say this. Rodri said, when did you know you were going to win the league? I knew I was going to win the league when I saw how Arsenal came to play at my grounds. That's when I knew. And what ended up happening a couple games later? You faltered versus Aston Villa. Rodri saw the weakness in you coming to my ground, which paid dividends later in the season because you.
Rodri saw the future. Rodri
can see it. Rodri can see it. He's like, these guys can't do it.
What did he do to him? He was winning games anyway.
Rodri is not.
Was he stepping into the pitch thinking about, oh my God, Arteta came to our ground and he defended. I gotta win this game. They were gonna win the game anyway.
No. He said, I knew I was going to win this league.
But you all know that's a nonsense statement from Rodri. He just said that to trigger
people. It's not a nonsense statement.
Yeah,
he just asked a question and he gave his.
It just showed.
No, Dyer. Rodri foresaw your defeat to Villa. Rodri foresaw
he saw that you guys were going to fall off.
Rodri saw the Villa defeat.
Yeah, he foresaw it. He foresaw it.
Villa going to beat Arsenal 2-0.
Dial, he saw it. Just relax.
In a couple of games.
he saw it. What are we gonna do here? He was asking.
What about at the Etihad? They were leading 2-1 last season before going down to 10 men. What Man City fans are talking about? Yeah, Arsenal played for the win at the Etihad. Then
no, Arsenal didn't play for the win.
They tried to defend.
Yeah, that's
okay. Sorry. All right.
This season.
Let me say this. Okay? Let me rewind that. Okay. Arsenal did play for the win.
Our whole season melted down in that game. So
yeah, we lost Rodri, but Arsenal did play for the win.
Because you don't have the mentality without Rodri to win games. I think that is the case.
Well, we have one without Rodri.
Part of our mentality.
I think because the mentality went with Rodri.
Rodri and Diaz.
I think the mentality got injured as well that game.
Yeah, Rodri is the only one that had mentality in the
the mentality is out.
Maybe he is right. Maybe he's the only one that has mentality in this league.
Maybe
Yeah,
you're
no,
right,
that's-
but
that's
what
Rodri.
if we
Forget
win
about
without
Ruben
Rodri, then
Diaz.
that theory goes out the door.
How
And
can he
that's-
foresaw the Aston Villa
So-
result, but not himself getting injured? That's what I want to know. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
he can see the future, and he could not see that you guys
I
be
don't
1 in 12
understand
right
it.
now, or 1 in 13.
Remember,
Just
not
remember how much your
Seriously,
fan base is.
I
so
actually
crazy
think-
for this year.
Rod,
I
what is
actually
going
think-
on?
Downfall to
I actually
Arsenal.
Just remember.
the two things that I still think that some people just answer things like, and a lot of people do, is Rodri saying that I saw the mentality, and Erling Haaland saying stay humble.
Stay humble.
It's ridiculous,
Stay
bro.
humble.
It's just, I think these are the two most ridiculous statements in the recent
You
years.
make as a footballer, you say Rodri saw the future, the
Well,
mentality.
if anybody's earned
Stay
the right to
humble.
say that, it's Rodri.
Yeah,
Best player in the
Rodri-
world. Get
Rodri
Wilson.
earned it.
He's the Ballon d'Or winner. He's the best player. That's
he
why
did. That's
he
why
took the mentality with him when he was going to the Ballon d'Or, never brought it back. I mean,
I
this
guess-
season, sorry.
What
We
did
never brought
AM,
it back.
I missed the comment. What did AMT
So
say?
he said it was the message before we said last.
It was
season
the
that we
message
were leaving
before. He said
City.
he
He made a
meant last
mistake.
season.
Yeah.
Sunny here, thank you so much. Why talk about a small club, Inter, 16 titles away from Juventus?
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Good
Sonny,
point.
let me tell you
Let's
something,
move
Sonny.
on, Mo. Let's
You
move
got
on.
defense.
Sonny, I'm gonna
Good
respond.
point. Let's
Can you
move
guys,
on.
I'm
More
gonna
at
respond.
treble.
You don't have to
Can I
respond, Mo. You don't have to respond to that. Come on.
No, I know. I need to. Sonny, just come talk to me when you win the treble, not a treble to put it in a journal and say that we won a treble, won the treble.
We have one in
Second,
trouble. We have,
second.
man.
Vader,
Sonny, talk to me
Montana
after the
talk to us
Sonny.
about
Talk to me after this season, bro. When you have a second star, when you win 20 league titles or more, all right?
Guys,
When you have
know-
a second star, just talk to me
Mo,
about
take
that.
it easy, man.
I
Take it
ju- I
easy.
just
Leave
wanna say,
him alone.
guys,
When you win the
you-
second star,
Come on, man.
if you win it
You'd be
this
better-
season, come talk to me.
Guys, you'd be
Man
better
United won
triggering
20
Mo.
league titles.
You'd be better triggering Mo by putting Jack Grealish or Raheem Sterling in an Inter kit and sending them
Promise
directly than
And me say, you'll be
Favorite
winning
player,
16
Jack
league
Grealish.
titles away from me because you are more successful than Inter. I'm not shy of saying that. See, I don't get triggered or anything. All right. Okay.
Hey, Umberley.
Klopp and Pep, two best coaches in the league. What was Arteta's level at that time? That's a very good, interesting question.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Very good question.
Oh, that is
At that
He's on the
time,
rise. I'd say he's on the rise.
actually, I actually think Arteta at that time was one of the best coaches in the league because at that time Arsenal were on their fantastic winning streak, and he was very good.
Mo,
And I think-
I'll say this. This is what most people don't realize again. This is Arteta's 5th year as a manager. His first job and his 5th year as a manager in any club. In any club. When he was at City, he was an assistant. And we all know that assistants don't call the shots. Like they can give their ideas, they can give their own, say. And of course, if the manager takes it on board, he does. If he doesn't, it is you've played professional football, you know what I'm talking about in the locker room. So for Arteta at that time, we're talking about somebody who has this is like a Maresca, somebody who had never coached, who all of a sudden, after 2 years of building your team, you're challenging. Of course, the club knows. One of the problems I have with Arsenal fans, and I'll say this clearly, is we refuse to look at where we are and where the goal is, and we are we're trying to overly extend where we should be.
Trying to run before you can walk. That's
we
what it
weren't
is.
supposed to be challenging 2 seasons ago. We weren't. We had just bottled 4th place the season before that. Tottenham, we had just bottled 4th place. In fact,
Wait,
at the
wait,
beginning
wait,
of
No. That was
Whoa,
the
whoa.
season before.
that's what I'm saying. The season before
Wait,
that,
wait. Hold on.
What I'm saying is, so what I'm saying is like going into that season where the 22-23 season where we did the madness in the first half of the season and we had 50 points and all that. Go and listen to every pundit. I still have videos of it. They said Arsenal will not make top 6. Maybe they might make Europa this year based on what last season. Nobody put us even in top 4. The fact that we went on to challenge and do a madness, and then that just shows the inexperience of Mikel Arteta. The fact that he bottled it eventually, right? And then the season after that, you expected him to challenge, and he did challenge till the last. He challenged, and here's the thing again. I said, look at the stats. You did not win more games than I did last season. If you won 29 and I won 28, then I'll say, you know what, you were better. We won the same number of games. The difference was
keep focusing on that.
No, because that says a lot. It says a lot about the growth of what the manager has done. I agree he did not win, and I wanted him to win. But if you're going toe to toe with the Man City and getting that kind of output, then at this stage he has no reason this year not to win. I don't care what madness Liverpool is doing; it's on him. This go ahead and win. That's all I'm saying. So don't come here.
Spot on.
Yep.
Olo, City didn't attack at the Emirates after the second minute. When was that? Last game?
Probably last season.
Wait, what was it?
City
Oh, you mean the
attacked
Martinelli?
season?
You mean the? Does he mean the
Haven't gone there
Martinelli
this season.
deflected goal? Does he mean that?
Yeah.
that
City
what I
didn't
meant?
attack. Yeah, you play defensive. Was it mentality, Rodri?
We're
That's
missing
very
like
true.
two world-class
No, that's
midfielders.
very true, yeah.
Was it
Yeah, that's
mentality?
true.
Yeah, was it
that's
mentality
very
when
true.
you came to the Emirates and you did not come and smash me? Yeah.
You're trying to say
Was it
that
was it
us not
mentality?
getting a
Yeah?
win at the Emirates was not trying to win.
Yeah, no.
No,
We
you-
came to the Etihad. You said I didn't have mentality. You came to the
Why
Emirates.
didn't you play? Why didn't you play?
Who
open
had
expansive
Rodri and
football?
KDB
You
that
played
game?
football and smash me
Why
at
didn't
the
you
Emirates.
open the game?
It was
Why
what,
didn't you open the
Haaland,
game?
Alvarez, and Foden?
Yeah.
Why
You
didn't
know,
you open the
Guys.
game? Why didn't you open the game at the Emirates? Why didn't you play open expansive football in the Emirates?
what happened?
That's
What happened to that? What happened to
Yeah,
the
well,
mentality?
Like Kels reminded you of, we didn't have KDB or Rodri in that game.
Oh wow, you didn't
Oh,
even have.
Bez.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
that changes our attack.
I
Come on.
see. Oh, okay, so
But
when
Rodri is playing though, right? Mr. Mentality was playing.
but Rodri
No, he
was
wasn't.
that
Rodri
game.
was
Rodri wasn't
suspended.
playing.
He was
Oh,
in that
that's
game
right.
No, he wasn't.
He had the red
You
card.
had no
suspended.
mentality. You had no mentality then. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
mentality?
because Rodri wasn't there. There was no mentality in the squad. Because
We
it's only
did
when-
we did end up winning
Bad
that
that
game,
point,
but we
too.
won the league.
I think
Yeah,
it was
I
before
understand.
Foden's form had kind of emerged.
because when we talk
Foden
about
had
games,
emerged, and Alvarez was kind of mucking
when
it
we,
up in the
when we
midfield.
talk about games
you
in
know,
isolation, you want to make excuses for your team.
Haaland got completely.
No
pocketed
one's
that
making
game.
excuses.
That's
We're
what you're doing.
No,
It's the mentality, Rodri.
honestly, I don't know why you fight the point.
Dayo
I
saying
think
it as it's Victor who said it in the interview. You know, it's not.
Stay humble,
Rodri.
stay humble.
Listen,
it's Roger just saying. I observed
Dayo who said
Arsenal
it.
at the Etihad playing not to lose a game. That's all the man said, and that's why he realized.
So you came to the Emirates because you didn't have your players. You played not to lose the game, so that means you didn't have the mentality at the Emirates. If you can admit to that, then I'll admit to the fact that we came and we also did not have
They
the
were just
mentality.
bad that game.
No. Oh, so when you play defensively against an Arsenal, we had 12. What? Let me pull up the stats. I'm going to pull up the stats of
Oh
that.
my gosh!
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I
Yeah.
just looked
I
at-
think the stats tell the whole story. I
Just
think we were just
accept-
bad that game.
just
You know what?
accept-
That started
Sent
that
off.
that Vator doesn't think that Arsenal have it in them to win the league this season.
No, they don't.
I don't care what Vator thinks. That's
I don't
not my
think they
point. My
believe in
point-
the
we
you
are
do,
on a
because we're having
Premier
a
League, that's
conversation. What are you
my
talking
thing.
about?
I
I
like-
They
can't
don't
really
have
think. That's
anybody
why I'm
on
on
their
this
team
panel.
who
No,
really
my
won
thing is-
outside of the City guys.
No, see, my thing is, I don't care what Vator
Who
thinks.
are their
But
Premier League
but
winners outside
but-
of Zinchenko?
Oh,
Jesus,
you do because
Sterling?
this is a debate. It's called an evening debate.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's what I said. Hear me out. When I say I don't care what he thinks, I care about the facts that are on the table, right? What you
Mhm.
think is what you think. That's a personal thing. But if you look at the facts on the table and you look at exactly what is on ground, it is a more difficult chance for Arsenal winning the league, but the chance is still there. Because if we're going to go by last season alone, and we want to go by how both teams performed, now that City is out of the running, genuinely out of the running. If you want to go by what Liverpool did last season and what Arsenal did last season, in the second half of the season, if we do a madness like we did, and Liverpool do a fall off like they did, it's 6 points. We can catch them. So it's not impossible. The thing is, we can only say what is on ground now, which is Liverpool is on a good run, and you can't take that away from Liverpool.
Do you
Arsenal just now
back your team to go on a big run without Saka?
Yes, I do. We don't have an option. We don't have an option. Like
No.
It's not wanting
That's
them
a
to
difference
have
between
the
not
ability.
having
that
an
you're gonna do it
option.
very
I
different.
back. Listen again. You said, do I back the team to go on a run? Yes, Dyer backs Arsenal to go on a run. With or
without their
without
best
Saka.
player.
Yeah,
Okay.
with or without Saka. It's just going to be harder. You're going to have.
You
I
know
don't think you
why?
guys have the
Because
mentality to do it.
Arteta's a better manager than Pep. Arteta can lead the team to go on a run.
Wow.
Arteta is if Arteta lead the team without Saka on a run and Pep can't, that's the evidence right there.
Arteta
the evidence.
Arteta is not going to do
Evidence is
1 in 12.
no
Arteta is not
what?
going to do 1 in
It's the
12.
evidence.
What
It's an
evidence?
evidence.
Without Saka. No, because it's evidential.
You will have to that. It's an evidence.
You have gone 1 in 12.
Yeah.
Arteta, okay, now you're gonna make me do this.
No,
You're gonna
no.
make me do this.
You have
Arteta's
got
failed to
1-12.
win without a Saliba, and I'm to believe that Arteta's gonna succeed
No,
without a
I'm
Saka?
saying now. Okay, exactly. So you don't think they're gonna succeed without Saka?
He couldn't do it with both of them last season.
Okay, guys. See, Vator and Kelk, you guys don't think that they're gonna win it without Saka? You won't.
No.
In addition to not having the mentality to win it, yes.
Who on Arsenal has won a Premier League?
He's not letting the mentality go. He's not letting the mentality go.
No,
That's,
no.
that's it.
You're a troll, man.
Who on your team has won a Premier League? Outside of Zinchenko, Jesus, and Sterling.
He's such a
You all won it with City. Who on your team has won a Premier League? I know Jorginho won a Champions League, and I know Declan Rice won the conference thing. But like, who are the winners on your team to lead you to that?
Kai Havertz has won the Champions League. You just listed all those names as well. So you listed the people who have won.
No, but they won it for another team. They were bit part players. They weren't start. Well, Sterling was, but Jesus and Zinchenko were not.
Don't be disingenuous. You're asking what players do we have on our team that has won anything and have the mentality?
Give you that mentality.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're asking, and you just listed 6-7 players by yourself. So why ask me when you know the players who actually have won stuff and are still on my team? Like,
are there more? You know your team better than I do.
What?
Do you think you have players that have the mentality that haven't won?
At Atletico Madrid, he had won stuff.
Yeah, they won a Europa Cup. Or
Moreno
Timber won the league.
Actually won La Liga.
Yeah, they won the league. So if you want to talk about, we do have
Moreno won the Euros.
I know what it is. Yeah, they know what it is to win. It's just making sure that now this is where they need to dig deep and just go on and do it.
I don't think you would win it without Saka, to be honest. If you don't invest in January, I don't think you would win it.
I know. That's why I said let's wait till January. The investing part, let's wait till January. But I think what
he's very important, Dayo. He's super important.
I agree more.
It'd be like if Liverpool lost Salah.
Let me address Kelk. Saka is the one who has won the least out of all the people that you mentioned.
Yeah.
When you talk about we don't know. That's what I'm saying. When I say least, he only won an FA Cup.
Saliba and Gabriel won nothing.
Hold on. Compared, I'm saying when you were talking about players who have won, you said.
Dayo, does that really count though? Does that really count? Look at the Liverpool team that won the league and the Champions League. How many winners did we have in that team? I mean, you got more winners.
You had a manager who had won a lot of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. See, look, Fuzzy,
teaching them how to win.
I'm answering.
And they already won the Champions League at that point.
I'm answering Kelk's question because Kelk is your question is basically you were trying to allude to the fact that we don't have the mentality of players who have won anything in the squad. But then by the time you ran through certain names, you realize that we actually have players who have won many in different other places. It's only that they haven't done it together at Arsenal. Now, this is where they must do it together at Arsenal. So your question, you try to frame, you wanted to paint that picture, and I saw where you're coming from, which is why I let you run with your narrative and list the players yourself. And after you listed them, you said, "Oh, Thomas Partey, well, he's won. Declan Rice, oh yeah, well, he's won."
No, I was literally asking you because I wanted clarity.
And then Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, I'm trying to set you up. She was just asking for some.
I'm clarifying Bukayo Saka.
You're like your manager.
Bukayo Saka, who happens to be our best player right now, is the one who I say has won the least kind of trophy within those players. Kai Havertz has won the Champions League. Compare that to Bukayo Saka's FA Cup. Jorginho has won the Champions League. Gabriel Jesus has won the Premiership. Zinchenko has won the Premiership. Like these are players. So if you can't compare that, that's what I'm saying. In comparison. But yeah.
A couple more super chats before we end. AMT, after how many seasons Man City won the league after the billionaire owners took over? Four.
3, 4.
2008.
No. Last time was in like
5. 2008 to 2013. Is that the Aguero
one
moment?
In the fourth season.
We've won 8 since our new owners.
Yeah.
No. How many seasons Man City won after the billionaire owners took over? How many seasons?
Oh, how many seasons?
One in the fourth.
It was a long time. I think it was in the 70s.
Man City win the league in 2000. It was 11 or
11, 12. They won 2012.
It's 12.
So
and that was under the new owners, yeah. Before then, it was like 71 or.
But AMT, I don't get what's this has to do with Arsenal. Arsenal have the same owners for fucking 20 years.
Hold on, but before that, guess how? No, they've not had the same owners for 20 years. Come on, don't be disingenerous, bro. Let's stop this nonsense. Let's not do it.
How many years? How many years have these owners been here?
The Concretes became the full owners in 2018. They were not they were shareholders.
Who was running the club before that?
Before that, they were just they were
partial owners.
They were 43% partial.
I think it was that tie.
It's like Ineos. It's like Ineos and the Glazers.
They were not the full owners at the time.
2018,
they bought it over in 2018 and immediately fired Unai Emery, brought in Mikel Arteta and started their own project. So let's not do that. Let's not say, oh, they've been there 20. Like, this is why let's talk facts. I don't like all this. We can't be painting. Look, I agree. City became more successful when their new owner took over. And money does that to you. And that's what it is. If you infuse money into something
100%.
You're going to win.
Nothing wrong with that.
That was right. Going back
listen, people.
I'm not complaining. I'm not
It
giving
is
it
Saturday evening.
back.
Surfer knows. Surfer
If
knows.
it gives me money, I'm not giving it back.
What do you mean?
Can we just ask
when the
one
money-
last
when the money
question on the
comes in,
show? Are City coming back from this season? This season
No.
No.
Wait, what do you mean coming back to what? Top 4?
to the fold, like being within Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool.
No, that
No.
ship has sailed. That ship
No.
has sailed.
That's
don't
gone,
think so.
man.
No,
That ain't
that's
coming
gone.
back.
Huh?
Our target's
I'm
top
being
4.
blatantly honest. I don't think so.
The ship has sailed, Mo. And
Even with money spent in January.
yeah,
The,
they-
Yeah,
the
still,
problem
man.
will
Top
be getting
four is
the
our
kind of
mission this
players
year.
we need in January, and they're generally not available.
I don't think just signing new players fixes the Man City
No.
issue.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like they need
There's
to sign a
other-
lot.
Some people really need to go too. And
Yeah,
I
Do you
they
have
need
think
the whole
any
clear
chance City
January.
don't finish in the Champions League spots? For anyone here?
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
a chance.
maybe
It's
maybe
looking like-
I debate
When
this
you got
every day.
when you got
I don't
clubs
know.
like
I don't have a
Chelsea,
straight answer for you.
Liverpool, and Arsenal that have been able to fall out of top 4, yeah, of course.
It is,
you can.
it is looking like 5th place could get you a Champions League place.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a really good
Yeah,
point.
so-
but that won't happen for City.
And as terrible as we are, I think we're in what 7th right now.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
still not going to happen for you guys because after a
It's
30
like
point
a rubbish league
fine.
season to win the Champions League.
You probably be in
Well,
championship.
all these
next season.
teams are taking points off of each other. Like
No
I
one
think
wants
it'd be
to
hard for
actually
anybody
take
to
it.
go on a
It's
big
funny.
run because all
Yeah,
of
no
these
one's
smaller
really
teams
running
are
away
doing
with
a lot better than we all thought they were. Like who thought Bournemouth, Fulham, Forest, Brighton were all going to be this good? Nobody.
I think it says a lot though that even against Leicester away, City are favourites, but they're not like overwhelming favourites.
No.
If you know what I mean.
But winter sofa, eventually this is gonna end, in it. Like, come on.
I
man.
don't know because
yeah.
actually, we're seeing.
No,
I've said
it
this
might
before,
not.
They can't be
We're
just
seeing-
losing
we've
every
never
draw
seen-
every game.
This is the thing.
I mean,
Guardiola's never been through this, and we've never seen Guardiola through this. So I don't know what the ending of this is for Guardiola because he's never overcome something like this before ever in his
Hence-
managerial career.
Well,
Hence-
he's never taken on this challenge before. Like
Never.
he's
Never.
left after 3,
I
4
mean,
seasons.
he's scratching his own head and his own nose. He's scarring himself. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
Club.
it looks like Harry
That's-
Potter.
that's the mental stuff there. But I mean, like I said, I don't think you guys will recover this season because you'll be in the championship next season. They're going to find you and you're going to get 100 points. So just get
Oh,
ready
keep
by end of
crying about
January.
that. Just
No,
keep crying about that.
Listen, I've told you before, January is here.
Now
But
you're
Dio, do
Nostradamus.
they have the mentality to get out of the championship? That's what I want to know. Do you have the mentality to get out of the championship? Do you
Oh.
think
Gotten out of the championship plenty of times. How dare you?
Rita, do you have the mentality to go to Millwall on a Tuesday night and grab a 1-0
We've
win?
done it
That's what I
before.
want.
We'll do it again.
Absolutely.
Actually, no,
Absolutely.
we're not. We're not going to the
You
championship.
don't have the mentality. 115 charges. It's here for you. End of January.
I
100
love
points deduction. 100.
Bro, Halloween
points
was
deduction.
2 months ago. What are you
It's not
doing?
Halloween. I am your charges. I am the champion to you. This is
You
your
pray-
charges.
Keep
you're
crying
praying for
about the
those charges.
charges. Just
I'm
keep
telling
crying.
you. I'm not praying. I already know.
You're not gonna like what
You
happens.
are going down. 30 points deduction. You are going to leave. Championship. And then they'll fine you. And you have to pay that fine over the next 5 years. And the other punishment is even if you win in the championship, you cannot be promoted for another 3 years and player ban.
You
I
know what's
want them
funny?
to.
I would
they
implore
should
you
win.
to read the cast verdict
They
if you
will-
want to
they
preview
Our,
how
down-
the
our downfall
No, you
was to
haven't. I
you.
can tell you haven't. Nobody
You will
has.
be ruined by me. 115. I am 115. I am going to ruin you, this club. I'm taking you down into the abyss.
Us falling
Go
down to the
Christmas past,
championship.
and that was a couple days ago.
Us falling down to the championship was to mean Arsenal winning the league, and guess Liverpool stepped in front of these guys.
That is actually the fact. Man City fall was supposed to be Arsenal's
The
lead.
season is not over, Mo.
It's not over. It is not over.
Everybody said in December when Arsenal was having a blip and losing games, everybody turned around and said, "Oh, look at you! You can't do anything." And we went on a mad 16-game, 1 draw, and 16-game, 1 draw, 1 loss. The last 18 games. So if
You can do this without Saka, bro,
if they can do that again,
hats off. Hats off, to be honest. Hats
that's
off.
all I'm
Also,
saying.
yeah,
listen,
Arteta will be manager of the
I know.
season if he does that.
I
without
swear, if he
Arsenal.
goes on a mad run like this without Bukayo Saka, manager of the season,
Let me
even if it doesn't, bro.
Let me just say this again. Even though we went on that mad run, believe it or not, the person who was the standout player for us in about 14 to 15 games out of those 18 was Kai Havertz. He scored the most goals for us. He scored in every other game, had assists as well. Bukayo Saka had a lot of assists and his
Oh
own
my goodness.
time. But yes,
You're saying your key player that season was Kai, not
I'm
Saka?
not saying key. I said
Ooh, then
you
they'll
like
be fine
to-
without Saka,
no.
right?
No. That's what I'm
Wait,
saying.
wait. Why'd you want to
You got Kai
mention?
Havertz,
Wait, hold
they'll
on.
be
We are
fine.
talking about Saka. Why did you bring up Kai?
because you're not paying attention again. I'm saying, as great as Bukayo Saka was in those 18
Yeah, as great as Saka was.
yes, we had other players who also stepped up in like 13
How
or
about
14
Twitch
games,
now?
right? So my thing is, if those players, if they can replicate what they did and a little bit more to cover what Saka is losing for us in this injury, those players should step up, is what I'm saying. If they could do that, like I'm saying, if Kai could play well in 14 games on a stretch, he needs to now do 16, 17, 18 games to cover what Bukayo Saka is losing out on. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, these players now have to step up, is basically what I'm saying. I did not say he was a better player. I said as much as Bukayo Saka was our best player, and now that he's injured, everybody else needs to step up and do more to be able to cover Bukayo Saka's role. Otherwise, we lose out on what Bukayo Saka is offering us.
Well, I'll be looking at your 105 signing and see how he steps up.
His job is he's doing his job so far. So
no, but he's got to do more. Like you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like he just did in the last game. He scored a goal. He came. He played his role, and he added. You know, he pieced in. That's what we're asking you to do. Before that game, before he stepped up in the last couple of games, he hadn't scored. He hadn't been, and he's been given assist. You can call it set piece United. All I care. The bottom line is, boom, he's getting those assists. Call it what you want. We'll use every avenue we have to continue winning games.
The charges of winters past, a Christmas story. Thank you all for so much. Okay, let's see, people. Whose this channel
I have
is?
the link for the verdict if you want to read it from the cast.
Tell them, Kels. Tell them.
If you want to read that, if you need some reading material for the Arsenal game, it's only about 100 pages.
I've read it, and the only reason why you guys beat
you have not read it.
No, you didn't read it.
You did not read it.
The only reason why you guys beat that charge in Europe was because of the.
Oh, the only reason we beat that is because there was no evidence at all.
No,
none. It's a fantasy everybody's making up.
Time lapse.
It was a time lapse. So
no. In the verdict, it actually says nothing having to do with the time bar is why.
It doesn't matter if there was a time lapse. There would have been evidence. There would have been bank statements. There would have been wire transfer receipts. There were none. There was nothing. It's all made up. It's a fantasy.
Exactly. Can you imagine? It was all made up. Like there was no. What was the final verdict?
Not guilty.
The final verdict is there was no evidence.
If you say not guilty,
on anything.
why were you fined?
We were fined for not cooperating.
No. Why did UEFA fine?
Because we didn't want to talk to them.
Because we did not cooperate.
Good. So why did you not cooperate?
Because they were leaking stuff to the media.
Why did you not cooperate?
Because when we would work with them, they leaked to the media.
So when you work with them, if you're innocent, does it matter if they leak to the media?
Yes. Because you can leak things and make it seem like we're guilty. You can leak things and make it seem.
No matter how you leak things to try and make you look guilty, if you're innocent,
there's public opinion.
The reason you're not cooperating is because you know that you guys are
public
We're
opinion.
not lawyers, and I'm not a lawyer. And
I have a cousin who's a lawyer, and I had
You're
him translate the document for
Same
me.
thing.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm a judge.
That's why
the verdict was City not guilty. Of the Cascas.
My cousin is a doctor, so I'm going to perform brain surgery now. Don't worry about it.
No, that's not the same thing.
That's how it works.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing, Dio. If I go and ask for a doctor's opinion, I can say that opinion. Anyway, guys, listen. Fozi's channel is in the description. This was an actually heated debate. I didn't expect that. I expected a calm Saturday night. Surfers here, banter on the pitch, and Vater Games, who just did a show right before this. Go and check it out. Support Vater. Go check out his channel. Absolutely brilliant content. Talk about all City things and all things Premier League. Dio's here. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Kelk, absolutely brilliant as always. Winter Surfer, fantastic with the gavel now. Is that everyone is now having a gavel?
Oh, we stole your gavel. We have two judges now.
Vater, thank you. Fozi, brilliant show. Hope we can do more together, my brother. And guys, this is going to take you to Osam when they are absolutely going to shit on Trent Alexander-Arnold there on the Liverpool stream. Absolutely. You guys know what is going to happen there. Go and support the guys. Go and support our friends.
To these guys,
Leave Trent alone, man. Leave him alone.
I will see you guys tomorrow after the games on MHF. I don't know if I'm doing content tomorrow, but I will see you guys later. We're out of here, people.
I need to update my mask to 130, so I'm getting another one in.
You need to throw that in the fireplace.
I'm going.
We're out, people. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.